My wife probably never thought. She had just accepted a proposal ring from the white moonlight of her heart, while I directly arranged a wedding of the century for them, and gave them a big gift they would never forget, in the Western restaurant. The secretary handed me the divorce papers. Sir, I've retrieved the divorce papers from the safe on our 5th wedding anniversary. In the Western restaurant, the secretary handed me the divorce papers 5 years ago. On the day CEO, Xiao, and I registered our marriage. CEO, Xiao, loved me so deeply. She had already prepared and signed the divorce papers and put them in the safe. If she ever cheated, I could sign them anytime to get a divorce. I quickly signed my name. I looked at the empty chair across from me. My expression was sad. Give the divorce papers to lawyer Lai, then book a hotel and set up a wedding venue. The secretary was surprised. She asked cautiously, whose names should I write for the bride and groom? Write Xiao Wan and Chang Yunfei. The secretary was silent for a few seconds. Chang Yunfei is CEO Xiao's first love. She asked with a trembling voice, Sir, when should the wedding be held? I slowly looked out the window. The blue fireworks that had been going off for an hour finally stopped, leaving a line of text in the sky. Xiao Wan, X Yu Chen, happy 5th wedding anniversary. I withdrew my gaze and pursed my lips tightly. Hold the wedding in 7 days. Also, book me a one-way ticket to Norway for that day. Norway? The secretary was stunned for a few seconds. She hesitated and advised, Sir, could you please reconsider? Actually, 5 years ago, on the day I registered my marriage. Besides the divorce papers CEO Xiao proactively signed, my parents, who are settled in Norway, had added another 50 million as a wedding gift. The condition was that CEO Xiao had to sign a prenuptial agreement. If I were to be hurt by the marriage and return to Norway alone, CEO Xiao would be forbidden from setting foot in Norway for the rest of her life. At that point, CEO Xiao wouldn't even have a chance to ask for a reconciliation. No need to reconsider. I shook my head. 7 days from now is exactly my birthday. I will leave Xiao Wan and fly to Norway. At the same time, I'll have someone arrange a wedding for her and Chang Yunfei to grant them their wish. After the secretary left, my phone suddenly vibrated. A notification popped up. It was Xiao Wan using the company's Weibo account to high-profilely post a picture. The brilliant blue fireworks, and she tagged me. My dear husband, happy 5th wedding anniversary. I'll love you forever. This Weibo post had just gone up. In less than a minute, the number of comments had already reached. I am so jealous. I knew it. I was wondering why Lin Cheng was shooting blue fireworks for a whole hour. Turns out it was CEO Xiao setting them off for her husband. They've been married for 5 years. CEO Xiao's displays of love are so grand every year. I heard that last year, after CEO Xiao had surgery under general anesthesia and returned to her hospital room, she wasn't fully awake yet and groggily saw her husband. The first thing she asked was, your stomach isn't good. Did you have lunch on time? Even the nurse was moved to tears at that moment. Among the comments, Xiao Wan had replied to this comment, Xu Chen is my husband. Loving him and taking care of him is my responsibility as his wife. Instantly, the replies below this comment were all sighs of envy, and I, as the object of their admiration, was currently looking expressionlessly at the empty chair across from me. Actually, Xiao Wan and I were once in love. We loved each other for 7 years. We never argued. For the past 7 years, as a female CEO, Xiao Wan gave me everything, both money and love. But just 1 month ago, on a night when Xiao Wan was on a business trip, I discovered that Xiao Wan had long had other intentions. That night, Xiao Wan sent me a voice message. When I pressed play, a strange man's voice came from the speaker. I've been back in the country for 6 months. I just had to wave my hand. And she took the bait. Tonight, she prepared blue fireworks for me. I don't like blue, to avoid waste. I am giving them to you to set off on your anniversary. At that time, I still didn't know who this man was, until a gathering 2 weeks ago. Xiao Wan and this man entered the private room together. Xiao Wan introduced him to me. This is her distant relative, her cousin, Cheng Yunfei. His handsome and refined face full of a cheerful smile greeted me. I've been back for over 6 months. I finally get to meet my brother-in-law. The man's familiar, magnetic voice made my mind go blank. After that, I couldn't stay any longer and left early. Xiao Wan didn't come home until midnight, until today. Xiao Wan and I are celebrating our 5th wedding anniversary. I arrived at the Western restaurant first. After 5 minutes, I received a call from Xiao Wan. She said she was preparing a surprise for me and couldn't make it for our candlelight dinner. She told me to watch the fireworks by myself first. After saying that, Xiao Wan hung up. 2 minutes later, I received a photo she sent via WeChat. I clicked on it. She was having a candlelight dinner with Cheng Yunfei. Fresh flowers, wine, incredibly romantic. Now, this Weibo post declaring her love. It was probably posted while Xiao Wan was in Cheng Yunfei's arms. I paid no mind to Xiao Wan's grand, long-distance declaration of love. I stood up, took my bag, and went home. Back in the bedroom, I asked the maid for a pair of scissors. I took out the custom-made matching men's shirt I had ordered and cut it into scraps. Then I cut the marriage certificate into pieces. I put these things into a gift box and wrote on top, "Second wedding gift." Just as I finished doing this, I turned around and ran into Xiao Wan, who had just come home. Her beautiful and gentle face took my hand and led me downstairs. "I've prepared a surprise for you. Come down and see." I went downstairs and saw a large truck. On the truck was a huge, dark blue gift box. Xiao Wan clapped her hands. The large gift box opened automatically. Balloons and fireworks flew up, revealing a lime gray Maybach. Two staff members quickly held up a banner. "A gift for Mr. Xu Chen." This scene made all the onlookers envious. Xiao Wan took out the Maybach key and handed it to me. She said affectionately, "My dear husband, you mentioned wanting to change your car last time. I remembered, as your wife. Of course, I have to buy you everything you want." As I reached out to take the car key, my sharp eyes noticed there was a hickey on the right side of Xiao Wan's neck. Although it was covered with concealer, you could still see the traces if you looked closely. I just felt a wave of nausea. I frowned fiercely. "What's wrong? You don't want the Maybach? Or you don't like the lime gray color?" Xiao Wan noticed something was wrong with me. Her clear eyes were filled with concern. I shook my head. My eyes were bloodshot as I stared at her. "This car is very nice. What I don't want is NT, the Maybach. It's you." Hearing this, Xiao Wan breathed a sigh of relief. When we returned to the bedroom, Xiao Wan's sharp eyes spotted a gift box on the dressing table. She was about to go take a look, but I was one step faster, covering the words on top with my hand. "My dear husband, is this the surprise you prepared for me?" A flash of joy appeared in Xiao Wan's dark eyes. I twitched the corner of my mouth and forced a smile. "Yes, but I can't give it to you just yet. I am preparing a second gift. Wait 7 more days. I'll give you both gifts at the same time. Knowing you, I am sure you'll love it. A double surprise in 7 days. Xiao Wan was a little expectant, but she thought for a moment and mumbled, "What's in 7 days?" Suddenly, she realized. She walked out of the bedroom and called her male assistant. "I almost forgot. It's Xu Chen's birthday in 7 days. Prepare a grand birthday party in advance. The bigger, the better. Every year, I throw a huge birthday party. I can't treat him poorly on his birthday." While Xiao Wan was on the phone, she didn't notice me standing at the bedroom door. My face was frighteningly cold. "We've been in love for 7 years. Xiao Wan had never forgotten my birthday. This year, Chang Yunfei returned, and she completely forgot about my birthday. That's fine too. I also want to see, for the birthday party she's taking such pains to prepare, when the birthday boy doesn't show up, what kind of expression she will have." I took out my phone and sent a message to my secretary. "Find out where Xiao Wan is preparing my birthday party. You set up the wedding venue 1 floor above the birthday party." "Yes, sir." I turned around to go take a shower. Xiao Wan was about to return to the bedroom when she received another call from her male assistant. "Oh, right. CEO Xiao, don't forget. You have to go eat barbecue with him at the university gate today. If he doesn't get to eat, he'll be quite sad tonight. I almost forgot. Order the barbecue according to Xu Chen's taste. You'll take him there." After Xiao Wan finished speaking, she hurriedly pushed open the bedroom door. These 2 sentences, I heard them loud and clear. Xiao Wan took the bathrobe from my hands and put it aside. "Xu Chen, let's go eat barbecue at the university gate. I've already asked the owner to prepare it. We can eat as soon as we get there." The barbecue joint at the university gate. He was a place I loved to eat at during university. Back then, because of a small incident, Xiao Wan and I met for the first time in front of that barbecue place. We got married after being in love for 2 years. Every year on our wedding anniversary, Xiao Wan would take me to eat barbecue. In the past, Xiao Wan always prepared in advance. Now, she needs her male assistant to remind her to remember this matter. An hour later, a black Bentley parked in front of the small barbecue joint, standing out immensely. A young female influencer who was live streaming saw Xiao Wan and me and excitedly approached with her phone. "Look, the husband-doting CEO Xiao is here. Everyone in the live stream room, look quickly. The couple I ship is a perfect match." Rumor has it that every year on their wedding anniversary, CEO Xiao brings her husband here to eat barbecue. Turns out it's true. Xiao Wan got out of the car and held my hand as we walked towards the barbecue place. Her sharp eyes noticed my shirt collar was messy. In front of everyone's eyes, Xiao Wan stopped, stood on her tiptoes and adjusted my shirt collar. This action made the surrounding female students envious. Someone boldly came forward to offer their blessings. A billionaire female CEO adjusting her husband's collar. "So sweet. Wishing you both 100 years of happiness." I looked expressionlessly at the woman on her tiptoes. I turned and replied with a polite but distant smile. Xiao Wan and I entered the barbecue place. We sat at our usual spot by the window. She looked towards the female owner at the counter. "Is the barbecue ready? Get the chives, chicken wings, grilled oysters, and toasted bread. Spicy and numbing. My husband likes this combination. Also, get 2 room temperature colas. Just finished grilling." The female owner was very impressed with Xiao Wan and me as a couple. She had just told her husband, "Don't mind that it's past 9 o'clock. Those two are so in love. They will definitely come today on their wedding anniversary." and they really came. The female owner brought over the finished barbecue. Her kind face was full of smiles. It's been 5 years. Miss Xiao and Mr. XU are so in love. Miss Xiao, when do you plan on having children? Xiao Wan looked at me with a shy expression. Well, let nature take its course. Preferably by the end of the year. I want to give birth to a little XU Chen too. I looked down at the barbecue in front of me, silent for a few seconds, saying nothing. Xiao Wan thoughtfully handed me a skewer. Suddenly, a man walked in. He told Xiao Wan that her car had been scratched by another vehicle and told her to come take a look. Xiao Wan frowned. Her expression soured. I'll go check. My dear husband, you eat first. I'll deal with it quickly and come back. Order whatever you want to drink, but don't drink anything cold. Your stomach isn't good. These thoughtful words once again made the customers in the barbecue place envious. Oh my god. CEO Xiao is so considerate. She always remembers that Mr. XU has a weak stomach. That's so thoughtful. I can't imagine if I were Mr. XU, I would be so happy. The female owner looked at me, sitting silently, and said with a smile, Mr. XU, you are so blessed to meet a woman in your life who is beautiful, gentle, considerate, and faithful. The probability is very low. I smiled bitterly. Yes, the probability is very low. Hey, actually, I haven't met one either. I didn't want to talk about this. I turned my head to look out the window. Xiao Wan followed the man out of the barbecue place. That man lowered his head and said something to her. Xiao Wan nodded and quickly got into the black car parked next to the Bentley. That black car looked a bit familiar to me. At the last gathering, Cheng Yunfei had made a grand appearance driving a black car. The license plate was identical to the car in front of me. I heard it was a welcome home gift from Xiao Wan, worth nearly 3 million, and the lime gray Maybach she gave me today was around the same price. Xiao Wan is a master of balance, the old and the new. First, love and husband. She balances them very well. I couldn't clearly see the movement inside the car. I withdrew my gaze. An unknown number called. I hesitated for a moment, then answered. A familiar voice came from the speaker. You've gotten smarter, knowing to find someone to call me out. My hand trembled as I hung up the phone. I looked at the barbecue in front of me and suddenly felt nauseous. It was as if something was pulling at my heart, squeezing it until my heart panicked. My head was dizzy. My whole body felt uncomfortable. I picked up my chopsticks and poked the chives on the plate into a mess. Half an hour later, Xiao Wan returned. She saw that I had only taken a few bites of the barbecue. Her gaze fell on my pale, handsome face. Her heart tightened. Why do you look so pale? Are you feeling unwell somewhere? I'll take you to the doctor right now. The woman's voice was extremely rushed. I turned my head away, not wanting to see her hypocritical face. I heard some disgusting words and lost my appetite. What did you hear? Xiao Wan frowned, extremely worried. You wouldn't want to know. My deep eyes were slightly bloodshot. Xiao Wan was confused. She stood up, wanting to hug me, but I dodged her. I stood up and strode out of the barbecue place and immediately got into a taxi. I signaled the driver to go straight home. XU Chen, wait for me. Xiao Wan, seeing she couldn't stop the taxi in time, hurriedly got into the Bentley and chased after the taxi. I sat in the back seat, looking in the rearview mirror. The scene before me was ridiculous. The Bentley was chasing the taxi. The black car was chasing the Bentley. Arriving at the villa complex, I got out of the taxi. Xiao Wan followed me out of her car and hurriedly grabbed my hand. My dear husband, why are you angry? Is it because I went to deal with the car just now and didn't eat barbecue with you? I raised my head and looked straight at her. Her beautiful face was full of worry and self-blame, but not a hint of fear. Xiao Wan sighed. It's my fault for not handling it properly. Next time, if something like this happens, even if the car gets totaled, I have to stay with my husband. She paused for a moment. She held my hand and asked carefully. My assistant just called. An important client unexpectedly fell from a high floor. His life is in critical condition. I have to go over there. My dear husband, is that okay? I frowned and keenly caught on her supposedly reluctant face a fleeting look of anticipation and excitement. In such a hurry for your date? Even making up a lie about a client falling from a high floor. I twitched the corner of my mouth, too lazy to expose her. I just calmly nodded. I walked slowly towards the villa. When I reached the door, I didn't go in, but walked straight to the adjacent parking lot and watched the two people in the black car kissing passionately. Don't you have to go to a birthday dinner with me tomorrow? Cheng Yun Fai's Adam's apple bobbed. The black car started quickly and drove out of the underground parking lot. My phone suddenly vibrated. I received a WeChat message from Xiao Wan. I clicked on it. It was a location by the lake. Half an hour later, I sat in a taxi, looking at the black car not far away. Many people around had stopped to watch. My eyes were bloodshot as I watched the shaking car. I only felt a bone-chilling cold. With trembling hands, I recorded a 5-minute video. Immediately after, I sent the video to my secretary and instructed in a hoarse voice, on the wedding day, play this video. After sending the voice message, I called my mother. In 7 days, I am coming back to Norway to see you and Dad. On the other end of the line, my mother noticed my voice was trembling slightly. She frowned deeply. Is Xiao Wan coming with you? I am coming back alone. Don't be sad. My Mother's tone was grim. She probably knew what had happened. She comforted me. "I'll pick you up at the airport then." In the middle of the night, Xiao Wan came home, making a lot of noise, waking me from a deep sleep. She was drunk and kept holding my face and kissing me. Perhaps because I had suddenly gotten angry tonight, she mumbled insecurely, "My dear husband, I love you so much. You can be mad at me, you can scold me, hit me, but don't ever leave me in this lifetime, okay? My dear husband, don't you worry. I will never cheat on you." On the large bed, I stared coldly at Xiao Wan. The woman had probably had too much to drink. She forgot to hide the marks on her neck when she came home, but the love in her eyes didn't seem fake at all. The next morning, I woke up in a daze. Xiao Wan had already squeezed the toothpaste for me, handed me warm mouthwash, and picked out the clothes I would wear today. After I finished getting ready, Xiao Wan and I went downstairs together. At the dining table, Xiao Wan's phone vibrated. She glanced at a text message and looked at me a bit apologetically. "My dear husband, I won't be coming home tonight. I have a gathering." I stopped in the middle of eating my pancake. I knew that today, Xiao Wan had to be with Cheng Yunfei, so I couldn't be bothered to expose her. After Xiao Wan left, I found a taxi to follow her. 20 minutes later, Xiao Wan drove into a residential complex with a rather nice environment. Cheng Yunfei was wearing a long gray coat and a gray scarf, dressed handsomely and brightly. He saw Xiao Wan's Bentley from a distance and smiled, waving his hand in greeting. He slowly got into the car. The two of them were probably intimate in the car for a while before Xiao Wan drove out of the complex. Half an hour later, the black Bentley parked in front of a wedding photography studio. Cheng Yunfei got out of the passenger seat and waited for Xiao Wan to approach. He casually took Xiao Wan's hand and walked inside. The staff at the door saw the two of them and enthusiastically came forward to greet them. "CEO Xiao and Mr. Cheng have arrived. We've already cleared the place for you. Let me show you both the styles for the wedding photos you'll be taking." In the car, I watched the scene before me expressionlessly. A chill quickly spread throughout my body. Suddenly, my phone vibrated. I picked up my phone and glanced at it. It was my brother, Lin Fengxing, calling. I swiped to answer. Lin Fengxing's cheerful voice quickly came through the speaker. "Where are you? I am looking for you to grab some tea." I gave him the address of the wedding photography studio. On the other end of the line, Lin Fengxing was stunned for a few seconds, and then exclaimed, "You and Xiao Wan have been married for 5 years, and now you're taking wedding photos again? That's great. Your love grows stronger with time. It makes single guys like me die of jealousy." I was a bit dazed, and said bitterly, "Lin Fengxing, she's not taking wedding photos with me." Lin Fengxing was stunned for a few seconds. Then he realized something was wrong. "She's taking them with another man? Xiao Wan is cheating? You wait there. I'll be there in 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, I got into Lin Fengxing's car. Amidst Lin Fengxing's worried questions, I told him about what happened recently after Cheng Yunfei returned, about Xiao Wan's affair. Next, I played the provocative voice message that Cheng Yunfei had used Xiao Wan's phone to send a month ago. Then I pointed towards the bridal shop and smiled bitterly. "As you can see, today is Cheng Yunfei's birthday. Xiao Wan is preparing to take wedding photos with him." Lin Fengxing looked in that direction. Inside the bridal shop, Xiao Wan was lowering her head to adjust the collar of Cheng Yunfei's vest. Her expression was gentle, her movements careful, as if she were touching a work of art. Lin Fengxing couldn't watch anymore. "I can't stand it. I am going in to give them a beating, to help you get your revenge." Lin Fengxing was a hot-tempered person. He rolled up his sleeves, about to rush into the bridal shop, but I stopped him first. "Wait, I want to see what else they'll do." Half an hour later, Xiao Wan and Cheng Yunfei came out of the bridal shop. One had changed into a sleek black suit, the other into a slim-waisted, pure white wedding dress. They held hands and got into the Bentley. After a long while, they arrived at a lake to avoid being secretly photographed. This wedding photo location had been cordoned off in advance. The photographer had been waiting for a long time, seeing the two arrive. The photographer smiled fawningly. "Miss Xiao and Mr. Cheng are a perfect match. A talented man and a beautiful woman. You're the most beautiful couple I've ever photographed." Cheng Yunfei held Xiao Wan's hand and smiled sweetly. "Who said I have good taste? I know how to pick a woman. My wife is a stunning beauty." After all, in the next half hour, the two changed into 3 sets of suits and wedding dresses. The winter temperature was quite cold. In the middle of the photo shoot, Xiao Wan thoughtfully took out a thick coat and put it on Cheng Yunfei. When Cheng Yunfei was not in a good state for photos, Xiao Wan would warmly encourage him until he smoothly got into the zone. After the photo shoot was over, Xiao Wan didn't rush to leave. She suddenly knelt on one knee. To Cheng Yunfei's surprised and delighted gaze, she took out the roses and proposal ring she had prepared. "You once said you were jealous of Xu Chen, because when we got married, I was the one who proposed to him. I said I could also propose to you. You were considerate of my situation and insisted it wasn't necessary, but I can't let you feel wronged. Yunfei, will you marry me?" Cheng Yunfei's eyes reddened. He nodded emotionally. "I am willing. I am 200% willing to marry you." The surrounding photography team immediately cheered them on. Get together. In the car, I watched this scene with a cold face. My whole body was freezing. 5 years ago, when Xiao Wan proposed to me, it was just as emotional as now. She also wore a beautiful white wedding dress, held a brilliant bouquet of roses, and presented a carefully prepared proposal ring. Even when she proposed to me, she choked up and cried, Yu Chen, in this life, you're the only man I'll ever love. No other man can enter my heart. I beg you. Will you marry me? I swear, if I, Xiao Wan, ever cheat, I will go and die. I let out 2 cold laughs. Laughing and laughing, I suddenly burst into tears. It turns out it was all fake. The vows were also fake. Even true love can change in the blink of an eye. Lin Fengxing looked at me with pity and said gently, they're gone. Are we still following? Yes. I lowered my eyes and slowly looked out the window. I want to see where Xiao Wan and he go next. An hour later, the Bentley parked at a Western restaurant. This Western restaurant was located in the most prosperous part of Lincheng. The window seats were extremely hard to book in advance. It wasn't mealtime right now. There were only a few scattered tables of customers. Between each table in the restaurant, there were screens for privacy. It was clear that Xiao Wan's precautions were extremely well done. I saw Xiao Wan and the other person walk in. First, I went next door to buy a slightly more mature men's outfit, then put on a mask and a hat before slowly walking inside. Lin Fengxing had already taken care of everything. He paid a fortune to get the table behind Xiao Wan from the person who reserved it. The 2 of us had just sat down when a middle-aged couple, led by a waiter, was shown to Xiao Wan's table. The middle-aged couple was around 50 years old. Judging by their appearance, they were ordinary people, and the middle-aged man's face, upon closer inspection, resembled Cheng Yunfei about 50%. Could it be that Xiao Wan is meeting Cheng Yunfei's parents? Lin Fengxing exclaimed in shock. I expressionlessly took out my phone. I found a great angle and quickly took a few photos through the gap in the screen. I timed it perfectly and managed to capture Xiao Wan giving a black card to Cheng's mother. This bitch is quite generous, isn't she? Lin Fengxing cursed angrily. My clear eyes lowered slightly. I slowly put my phone down. Let's go. I don't want to stay here another second. The 2 of us went down to the first floor. Lin Fengxing wanted to take me home. I shook my head. Lin Fengxing, I am very confused right now. I want to be alone for a while. Lin Fengxing didn't try to persuade me further. He just repeatedly told me to be careful. After Lin Fengxing left, I walked alone on the street. The temperature outside had dropped to -1 degree. I was wearing a thin coat, but the cold on my body was nothing compared to the cold in my heart. I don't know how long I walked when my phone suddenly vibrated. It was a text from Xiao Wan. I opened it. 3 wedding photos were clearly displayed on the phone screen. One showed Xiao Wan leaning against Cheng Yunfei, like a small bird, an intimate pose. One showed the 2 of them kissing sweetly, and another one showed Xiao Wan on one knee, holding up flowers to propose. Cheng Yunfei was smiling smugly and ostentatiously. We took wedding photos today. She publicly proposed to me. I was very touched. She even took the initiative to suggest meeting my parents. Other than not being able to register the marriage, we've gone through all the marriage procedures. Who says sharing a wife isn't good? I can accept it. It just depends on whether you can accept it. I am not losing out. Anyway, I looked at Cheng Yunfei's arrogant words and didn't reply a single word. I sent the 3 wedding photos to my secretary and also sent the photos of the 4 of them at dinner that I took today. I also screenshotted the entire chat history and sent it over. All of this will be revealed on the wedding day. After finishing these tasks, I put my phone in my pocket. I walked like a corpse, completely unaware that a black car was speeding towards me. Out of control, I couldn't dodge in time and was sent flying 2 meters by the car. After a very, very long time, I opened my eyes again. The strong smell of disinfectant filled the air. My eyes met a white hospital room. Xiao Wan saw that I was finally awake and anxiously walked to my bedside. Her dark eyes were full of worry and fear. You're awake. Are you uncomfortable anywhere? My gaze shifted slightly and slowly fell upon Xiao Wan. The woman's eyes were red. She looked at me with tension and heartache, as if she wished she were the one who was injured. I just felt a wave of nausea. The wedding photos of the 2 of them in intimate poses flashed through my mind. My stomach churned. This Xiao Wan. That Xiao Wan. Which one is the real you? Why aren't you saying anything? Where does it hurt? Ill. Go. Get the doctor. Xiao Wan was about to anxiously go get the doctor, but I was a step faster and grabbed her hand. My voice was hoarse as I asked, how did you get here? Xiao Wan was a bit stunned. She received a call from the hospital while she was still having dinner with Cheng Yunfei's parents. At that moment, she was terrified and immediately rushed over, leaving Cheng Yunfei's family behind. Luckily, I was fine. I was having dinner with a client tonight. There's a big order that needs to be followed up on. The hospital informed me that you were in a car accident, so I rushed right over. My clear eyes closed slightly. You just came back from the client's place. That's right, Yu Chen. I am so tired. Xiao Wan frowned. I slowly closed my eyes and said nothing more. Xiao Wan sat beside me. Not long after, her phone suddenly vibrated. She decisively hung up. The other side persistently called back. Xiao Wan switched it to silent and lowered her head to send a text. A minute later, her expression became excited. She found an excuse and hastily left. Not long after Xiao Wan left, Lin Fengxing quickly came to visit me. but his expression was not good. Guess what? Who did I see when I went upstairs? Seeing Lin Fengxing, I sat up halfway, thought for a few seconds, then guessed. Xiao Wan. Lin Fengxing curled his lip in disgust. The third floor of this hospital is the men's ward. I took the elevator up. As soon as the elevator doors opened, I saw Xiao Wan and Cheng Yunfei. I felt something was wrong then. So I followed the crowd out of the elevator and saw Cheng Yunfei holding Xiao Wan's pregnancy test report. His mouth was split in a huge grin, telling her she was going to be a mother. I was a bit stunned. I silently lowered my eyes. My face showed no hint of displeasure. Xiao Wan is pregnant. Lin Fengxing just felt that I was a bit unusual at this moment, but he couldn't pinpoint what was wrong. He came closer to me and touched my forehead. You're not angry. You don't have a fever that fried your brain, do you? I smiled faintly. My pale lips parted. You don't know, Xiao Wan. She has a physical problem. The doctor once said that she can't have children. 3 years ago. We had been trying to conceive for a year, but Xiao Wan just couldn't get pregnant. I thought it was my fault and scheduled a checkup at the hospital. Xiao Wan, worried that I would be under a lot of psychological pressure, went with me for the checkup. The results came back, showing that Xiao Wan was infertile. That night, I didn't sleep at all, convincing myself to accept a life without children. As long as Xiao Wan loved me, that was enough. I was even worried it would affect Xiao Wan's self-esteem and career, so I asked Dr. He to help hide her condition and told everyone that I needed physical therapy before Xiao Wan could get pregnant. Now, Xiao Wan is overjoyed that she's about to become a mother. My 3 years of careful concealment have become incredibly foolish. Oh my god, this is world-shaking news. Lin Fengxing was so excited he almost jumped up. He rubbed his hands together and raised an eyebrow. I have a plan. Xu Chen, in 5 days, you're moving to Norway. Let's just pretend we don't know about Xiao Wan's pregnancy. It's 9 out of 10 that Cheng Yunfei is tricking her. I wonder how Cheng Yunfei will manage then. Let's just wait and see his show when the time is right. Well, send Xiao Wan's test results to her. I want to see if Xiao Wan will fly into a rage when she knows the truth. The next morning, Xiao Wan didn't come to the hospital. In the afternoon, my secretary came to my hospital room. After reporting on the wedding preparations, she looked at me hesitantly. If you have something to say, just say it. I frowned. The secretary looked at me carefully and said in a low voice, at noon, CEO Xiao asked me to deliver documents to the villa. When I got there, I saw Cheng Yunfei in his pajamas, sitting on the sofa in the living room of your villa. Sir, you've always been good to me. I really can't watch this anymore, so I wanted to let you know. A chill rose from the soles of my feet. My face grew a little cold. I am still in the hospital, and Cheng Yunfei already can't wait to move into our house. No wonder Xiao Wan specially informed me last night that I must inform her before I am discharged. She would come pick me up. I know. Thanks a lot. I picked up the phone on the table and opened the surveillance camera feed. The screen was pitch black. Xiao Wan had covered the camera lens beforehand. I frowned and looked at the secretary who hadn't left yet. Tonight, I'll find someone to help Xiao Wan and Cheng Yunfei. You contact someone to go over and install surveillance cameras. Be discreet. Yes, sir. At 10 o'clock at night, Xiao Wan came to the hospital room. Her clear eyes were full of apology. My dear husband, you told me to come over. Did you miss me? Sorry, I was busy today. I frowned and directly interrupted her. I gave her an excuse. I know, that's why you came to see me so late today. Xiao Wan was stunned. She smiled and intertwined her fingers with mine. My husband understands me best. After all, I stared at Xiao Wan and went along with her words. That's right, I understand you. Xiao Wan's heart skipped half a beat. She mumbled, Xu Chen, just as she was about to say something. A nurse happened to push in the treatment cart and changed my IV bag. The next day, I opened the surveillance camera feed. In the villa, Cheng Yunfei and Xiao Wan were having lunch together. Cheng Yunfei was sitting in the seat I usually sat in. Xiao Wan said in a whiny voice that she was pregnant, but refused to eat. Cheng Yunfei was patient. He held the spoon and coaxed her to eat, spoonful by spoonful, to be good. Nourish your body and have the baby. Xiao Wan's pink lips parted, her face full of happiness. After finishing the meal, Cheng Yunfei went upstairs. Xiao Wan called the maid over and instructed in a low voice. Yunfei, he doesn't have a proper status. It's normal for him to have a bad temper sometimes. You all need to be more tolerant. Also, about Yunfei moving in. When Xu Chen comes back, no one is to tell him. Yes, ma'am. I calmly watched the surveillance footage. I averted my gaze and started instructing the secretary to prepare the wedding invitations. Today, I will list the guest list for the invitations. The next day, 3 days left on the countdown to my departure. Early in the morning, Xiao Wan came to visit me with bone broth. I asked Auntie to specially simmer this. It's the lotus root and pork rib soup you love the most. Have a taste. I didn't refuse and ate it bite by bite. After Xiao Wan left, another half an hour passed. I opened the surveillance feed. The living room, Cheng Yunfei and Xiao Wan were watching prenatal education videos together. He was caressing Xiao Yuan's belly, a face full of gentleness. My beloved wife. Your eyes are big and beautiful. The baby's eyes have to look like yours. Xiao Yuan's pink lips parted slightly. Your facial features are handsome. The baby's face can look like yours. That night, Lawyer Li came to the hospital room. Sir, your divorce decree with CEO Xiao is now effective. Thank you very much. I looked at the divorce decree and turned to look at the secretary beside me. Make a copy. Put it in. The second wedding gift box. 7 years of this ill-fated relationship have come to an end. Countdown. Day 2. Early in the morning, Xiao Yuan came to the hospital room with a bouquet of sunflowers and a jade Buddha pendant that cost millions to obtain. She saw that I was recovering quite well and put the jade Buddha pendant on me. Her beautiful face was full of smiles. You can be discharged tomorrow. Last night, I sought a master to get this jade Buddha pendant to ensure your safety. I looked at the jade Buddha pendant on my neck, my handsome face slightly serious. Last night, Cheng Yunfei had appendicitis and needed minor surgery. Xiao Yuan was worried about him, so she took him to the hospital and urgently went to get a safety charm. This jade Buddha pendant of mine was just an afterthought. As soon as Xiao Yuan left, the secretary came to the hospital room. Sir, the invitations are ready. After you board the plane, we will have someone send out the electronic invitations. She paused for a moment and said hesitantly, CEO Xiao just paid a high price to buy the villa behind yours. I frowned slightly. Isn't that villa occupied year-round? The secretary quietly shook her head and said carefully, that's right, sir. But CEO Xiao offered a high price and gave the other party a large contract to convince that family to move out. I heard that villa is only in Cheng Yunfei's name as a gift for getting the madam pregnant. I pressed my lips together, my dark eyes filled with coldness. This Xiao Yuan is preparing to keep a golden boy. In the evening, through the surveillance camera, I saw Cheng Yunfei reluctantly, directing the maids to pack up his belongings and move them to the villa behind theirs. Today is the last day before I leave. Early in the morning, Xiao Yuan came to pick me up from the hospital. In the car, she thoughtfully fastened my seatbelt for me and said gently, XU. Chen, today is your birthday. I've already prepared the birthday party. It will be held at 7 o'clock sharp tonight. Remember to invite your friends. The black car drove into the villa complex. After 4 days, I stepped into this house again. Everything was just as it was the day I was hospitalized. Nothing had changed, as if Cheng Yunfei had never been here. I walked into the master bedroom. An electric shaver was on the vanity table. I glanced at it indifferently. This was a designer brand, costing nearly 10,000. This deliberately forgotten shaver was like a strange kind of provocation. I didn't stay in the master bedroom for long. Before the maid called me downstairs for a meal, at the dining table, Xiao Yuan peeled a shrimp for me and brought it to my mouth. Her gestures were intimate, gentle, and attentive, just like how Cheng Yunfei had fed her 2 days ago. I chewed slowly. I looked into Xiao Yuan's gentle and deep eyes and suddenly asked, I am just saying, if one day you dream that I leave you, would you be sad? Xiao Yuan's shrimp peeling motion paused. Her expression tensed up. She grabbed my hand. XU Chen, I wouldn't just be sad, I would go crazy. Don't leave me. I pressed my lips together. I was about to say more when Xiao Yuan's phone on the table suddenly vibrated. I glanced over. It was a message from Cheng Yunfei. The surgical wound is bleeding. It hurts so much. Could I be in serious trouble? A look of panic flashed across Xiao Yuan's clear eyes. She stood up hastily. XU Chen, there's a small problem with the birthday party arrangements. I'll go handle it right away. I'll pick you up for the party this evening. She turned to leave. I suddenly grabbed her hand and smiled faintly at her. Xiao Yuan, goodbye. Xiao Yuan turned around sharply. She looked at the quiet me before her, and her whole body trembled. My eyes used to be filled only with her. Since when did only desolation remain in my eyes? XU Chen. You. Xiao Yuan still wanted to say something, but her phone vibrated again. She left in a hurry. I went to the master bedroom, took all my documents, and threw the jade Buddha pendant into the trash. I called the secretary. Xiao Yuan has gone to be with Cheng Yunfei. I am going to the airport now to board my flight. Once I am on the plane, proceed with the original plan tonight. Oh, right. Remember to invite Cheng Yunfei to her wedding. Yes, sir. An hour later, I arrived at the airport and went through security. I messaged my parents that I would be boarding in half an hour. Right after that, I opened my chat with Xiao Yuan. I've prepared 2 surprises for you tonight. I hope you like them. Xiao Yuan replied immediately. My dear husband, I am really looking forward to your surprises. I am still handling the birthday party arrangements. I feel more at ease being on site to supervise. Wait for me to pick you up for the birthday dinner. I curled the corner of my lips. You don't need to pick me up. I'll go to the Jizhou Hotel myself. I am not going to keep the appointment. The birthday party is on the 2nd floor of the Jizhou Hotel. The wedding venue is on the 3rd floor of the Jizhou Hotel. Only by having Xiao Yuan wait for me at the Jizhou Hotel can the secretary send out the wedding invitations, so that the 3rd floor wedding ceremony can proceed as planned. Half an hour later, the announcement came for passengers flying to Norway to board. I took out my phone's SIM card and threw it in the trash. Goodbye forever, Xiao Yuan. From now on, you will never see me again. At 6:30 p.m., Xiao Yuan was waiting at the entrance of the Jizhou Hotel. The guests arrived on time. Most of the arrivals were her friends and mine. Xiao Yuan couldn't see any sign of me. She took out her phone and called me. A cold female voice came from the speaker. "Hello. The number you have dialed is switched off." Xiao Yuan frowned deeply. A bad feeling rose from the bottom of her heart. Xu Chen. Could he be angry and not planning to attend the birthday party tonight? Xiao Yuan clutched her phone tightly and started to recall the events of the afternoon. At lunch, she received a message that Cheng Yunfei's surgical wound was bleeding. She left me behind and took Cheng Yunfei to the hospital. In the hospital, the doctor said Cheng Yunfei's emotional agitation, coupled with poor recovery from staying up late last night, had caused his surgical wound to bleed. He told her to pay more attention to the patient. Today is my birthday. Xiao Yuan had originally planned to comfort Cheng Yunfei for a bit and then come back to me, but in the hospital room, Cheng Yunfei kept clinging to her. He placed his hand on her belly, his face full of paternal love. "I want to be with the baby for a while. Can you stay at the hospital for a little while?" Xiao Yuan's expression turned slightly cold, and she refused. "No. Today is Xu Chen's birthday. I have to be with him." But just as she was about to leave, Cheng Yunfei lay on his side on the hospital bed. His tall figure curled into a ball and started crying out that his wound hurt, crying that he wanted to be with the baby. In the end, Xiao Yuan's heart softened and she gave in. She spent the entire afternoon with Cheng Yunfei until it was almost time for the party. She coaxed Cheng Yunfei and promised him a surprise tonight before Cheng Yunfei finally let her go. But when Xiao Yuan rushed to the Jizhou Hotel, she found that she couldn't contact me. "My dear husband, why is your phone off?" Xiao Yuan was worried sick. She made several calls in a row, but the speaker announced each time that the other party's phone was off. The secretary had been waiting by her side for a long time. She looked down at the time, and holding the gift box with the words, "Second wedding gift," walked slowly up to Xiao Yuan. "CEO Xiao, he has prepared 2 surprises for you tonight. Would you like to open the gift box now?" Xiao Yuan hastily took the gift box. Just as she was about to open it, she suddenly noticed the 4 large words written on the gift box. "Second wedding gift." Xiao Yuan's small face darkened. Her tone suddenly turned cold. "Why does it say second wedding gift on here? Did you bring the wrong one?" The secretary looked at Xiao Yuan and shook her head. "CEO Xiao, I did not bring the wrong one. This is the exact gift box he gave me." A bad feeling suddenly rose in Xiao Yuan's heart. She handed the gift box back to the secretary, frowning and taking 2 steps back, as if the gift box before her was some kind of wild beast. Then, she called the butler at the villa to ask about my whereabouts. "Has Xu Chen gone out? Bring him over here for the birthday party." On the first floor of the villa, the butler answered carefully. "Madam, 6 hours ago, he left with a suitcase." Xiao Yuan's heart lurched. Her pupils constricted sharply. Her heart pounded. "What did you say? Where did he go with a suitcase? Why didn't any of you inform me?" The butler's helpless voice came from the other end of the line. He said some parting words before he left. He said, "Thank you for our 5 years of service," and even gave each of us a 5,000 yuan red envelope. He also specifically instructed that we were not to report his departure to you, madam. A sharp pain shot through Xiao Yuan's head. It felt like something was being forcefully torn from her heart. It was extremely uncomfortable. She wanted to rush back to the villa, but the birthday party before her made it impossible for her to get away. "Go to the master bedroom now. Look at the left bedside table. The first drawer. Are Xu Chen's documents still there?" The butler immediately went upstairs and opened the drawer Xiao Yuan mentioned. She carefully rummaged through it and reported with a trembling voice, "Him. Only the madam's documents are in the drawer. His ID card, passport, and driver's license are all gone. Also, after the madam left this afternoon, he had someone move all of his belongings away. According to him, he wanted to donate his things to an orphanage." Xiao Yuan was dazed for a few seconds. Her hand holding the phone trembled violently. An imperceptible tension flashed through her clear eyes. Even fear. His documents are gone. He even donated all his belongings before leaving. Could it be that he wants to leave her on his birthday, to embrace a new life? Impossible. Xiao Yuan hung up the phone and anxiously opened WeChat. She sent me a message. "My dear husband, didn't we promise to celebrate your birthday together? Don't be angry anymore. Where are you? Ill? Come pick you up." As soon as she hit send, an exclamation mark appeared on the phone screen. I had blocked her. Xiao Yuan stared blankly at her phone and anxiously sent another message. "My dear husband." The chat page again notified her that she had been blocked. The secretary stood by her side, quietly watching Xiao Yuan. She held up the second wedding gift again and reminded her in a low voice. "CEO, Xiao." He said, "You should open the gift box. His answer is inside." Only then did Xiao Yuan look at the gift box before her again. Her mind was a complete mess. She opened the gift box almost numbly. What appeared before her were the shredded pieces of their matching couple's shirts. The collar piece on top still had the words he had embroidered by hand. Xiao Yuan carefully picked up the embroidered collar piece and almost lost her balance and fell to the ground. "This is the gift Xu Chen intended to give me today." Impossible. Who was playing such a cruel joke? He couldn't have cut up her matching shirts a year ago On our 4th wedding anniversary, that night, I gave her a custom-made matching shirt. I looked at her gently, my dark eyes filled with love. Xiao Yuan, in my heart, you are my wife, and I am your husband. I cherish every day I spend with you. However, if one day you have a change of heart, if I become disappointed in you, disappointed in this marriage, I will destroy these things with my own hands and leave you forever. Xiao Yuan stood frozen on the spot, like a person whose soul had been drained. He cut up the matching shirts himself. Could it be that he knows everything about her and Cheng Yunfei? Seeing that Xiao Yuan was still motionless, the secretary beside her reminded her, CEO Xiao, there's more underneath. Xiao Yuan hastily lifted these fabric scraps and set them aside. The second layer of the gift box, the shredded marriage certificate, was immediately revealed. He even cut up our marriage certificate. Xiao Yuan's hands trembled as she tried to piece the marriage certificate back together, but her gaze fell on the divorce decree at the bottom. Her movements froze. She picked up the divorce decree and examined it carefully, confirming it was my handwriting. Xiao Yuan looked at the secretary beside her and said in a hoarse voice, "Did he tell you to take the divorce papers I had pre-signed from the safe?" The secretary nodded and reported truthfully. "He contacted lawyer a long time ago. This divorce decree is already effective." It was just one sentence. But Xiao Yuan looked as if she had suffered a huge blow. Her small figure swayed as if about to fall. She lowered her head, touching the divorce decree, and said to herself, "Impossible. This divorce decree must be fake. Xu Chen must be joking with me. Things were so good. How could he suddenly leave me?" The secretary looked at the woman before her who was on the verge of collapsing. She pointed upstairs and reminded her, "CEO Xiao, the second surprise he prepared for you is on the 3rd floor. I'll take you there now." Xiao Yuan frowned fiercely, her heart filled with resistance. "I am not going." She was afraid I would have something terrifying prepared for her. Desperate, surprise. The secretary lowered her eyes. He instructed that if you, CEO Xiao, didn't want to go upstairs, I should relay his words to you. He said, "This is the last surprise he will ever prepare for you. Whether you accept it or not is up to you." Xiao Yuan's expression was extremely grim. After a moment of hesitation, she still decided to go upstairs. The secretary followed behind Xiao Yuan. The moment the elevator doors closed, she pressed send for the invitations on her phone. At the same time, in the 2nd floor ballroom, the guests' phones vibrated in unison. Everyone looked down at their phones, and without exception, all showed expressions of surprise. "What's going on?" "I received a wedding invitation for Xiao Yuan and Cheng Yunfei." "Who is Cheng Yunfei?" "Today is Xu Chen's birthday party." "Didn't Xiao Yuan personally arrange it for Xu Chen? Could they have divorced a long time ago?" "I feel like we're about to get some bombshell news of the century. Let's go up to the 3rd floor and see." The guests swarmed to the 3rd floor. At the same time, on the 3rd floor of the Zhou Hotel, as soon as Xiao Yuan stepped out of the elevator, she saw that both sides of the hallway were lined with display boards. On them were the wedding photos she and Cheng Yunfei had just taken. Above the entrance to the grand ballroom hung the banner, "Congratulations to Xiao Yuan and Cheng Yunfei on 100 years of happiness." Xiao Yuan looked at the scene before her, her face turning pale. Who would be so bold as to take matters into their own hands for her and arrange a wedding for her and Cheng Yunfei? Suddenly, she thought of something and turned to ask the secretary, "Could this be the surprise Xu Chen prepared for me?" The secretary lowered her eyes and pointed to the grand ballroom inside, leading her inside. "CEO Xiao, the real surprise is inside." Xiao Yuan's mind went blank for a few seconds. She didn't know how she walked into the grand ballroom. She only knew that when she arrived at the wedding scene, she felt as if she had been struck by lightning. The scene before her made her completely unable to think. On the big screen, her and my divorce decree was being displayed in a loop. The 99 wedding photos she took with Cheng Yunfei, and photos of her having dinner with Cheng Yunfei's parents. Xiao Yuan stumbled and collapsed lifelessly into a nearby chair. She began to recall the details of her interactions with me these past few days. Only then did Xiao Yuan realize that I had probably known about Cheng Yunfei's existence for a long time. Otherwise, when she left at noon, the way my eyes looked at her would not have been filled with only desolation. My goodbye now sounded more like a final farewell. She had foolishly thought that she had hidden it very well. But her relationship with Cheng Yunfei was purely physical. There were no feelings involved. He had truly misunderstood her. Xiao Yuan looked at the secretary again, her tone filled with sorrow. "Where did Xu Chen go?" The secretary still shook her head. "I am sorry. He didn't allow me to say." Just then, a figure ran in through the door. Cheng Yunfei, wearing a groom's suit, walks into the wedding venue. He looks at the wedding photos displayed on the large screen. His handsome face is full of excitement. There's no trace of the weakness he showed at the hospital this afternoon. "You suddenly said you were holding a wedding for me. I love it." Compared to Cheng Yunfei joyful surprise, Xiao Yuan's small face was gloomy. "Who told you to come? You should go home first. Don't stay here any longer. I'll talk to you tonight." Cheng Yunfei frowned deeply. His handsome face was full of dissatisfaction. He couldn't wait to marry Xiao Yuan. "Didn't you have someone inform me to come here? This is the wedding you prepared for me. It's only natural for me to attend as the groom." "But Yuan, you've already divorced Xu Chen. Why didn't you tell me? Were you hiding it from me to give me a surprise?" When does the wedding start? Have you told my parents to come attend? Are you planning another surprise for me? Cheng Yunfei's continuous questions gave Xiao Wan a headache. She was just about to tell him to leave quickly. Suddenly, a crowd of people flooded in. The guests all entered the grand hall at once. They looked at this wedding scene in surprise. They stared in shock. The divorce decree was displayed on the large screen. The wedding photos of Xiao Wan and Cheng Yunfei. There was also a photo of Xiao Wan having dinner with Cheng Yunfei's parents. Suddenly, the large screen flickered. It started playing the video I secretly filmed by the lake. The black car was shaking. Someone with sharp eyes cried out, "The man in the rocking car isn't Xu Chen. He looks like this Cheng Yunfei guy." The guests immediately started whispering about the wedding photos before them. Among them, there was no shortage of curiosity, cursing, and sighs. But my good friends all defended me. So my good brother Xu Chen was cheated on in his marriage. No wonder Xu Chen didn't attend his own birthday party today. Turns out he doesn't want Xiao Wan anymore. If it were me, I'd be disgusted too. Such a perfect wife. Cheating on the side. But this male homewrecker isn't even that good looking. I guess he must be good in bed. Xiao Wan's face darkened. She called and ordered the hotel manager to turn off the large screen. But the large screen flickered again. Several screenshots of a chat history were displayed. They were screenshots I took. The chat history between me and Xiao Wan. The first screenshot was the provocative voice message sent by Cheng Yunfei. It was 30 seconds long. The secretary had attached the audio. "I've been back for 6 months. All I had to do was wave my hand, and she was hooked. Tonight, she prepared blue fireworks for me. I don't like blue. To avoid waste, I am giving them to you to set off on your wedding anniversary." The guests immediately erupted in an uproar. Cheng Yunfei's face turned pale. A wave of panic hit him. This idiot. Why did he display the chat history? Below that provocative voice message was a bed photo Xiao Wan sent with Cheng Yunfei, and also Cheng Yunfei wearing a matching shirt in a mirror selfie. The second screenshot was of Xiao Wan on her 5th wedding anniversary, having a candlelight dinner with Cheng Yunfei. The third screenshot was Xiao Wan sending the location of the shaking car by the lake. The fourth screenshot was Xiao Wan sending 3 wedding photos, along with a provocation to me, preparing to share a wife with me. The guests started to lower their heads and whisper. Why is the voice message sent by Xiao Wan? Spoken by Cheng Yunfei. It was still the same sharp-eyed person from before. He spotted the key point at a glance. Daring to guess, could it be that Cheng Yunfei took Xiao Wan's phone and sent these things to Xu Chen? One sentence solved the guest's question, and at the same time, it stirred everyone's anger. Are all the other men this arrogant nowadays? Taking the female CEO's phone to send provocative messages to her husband. This is unacceptable. Even though I am Xiao Wan's good friend, I can't accept her behavior. I want to curse someone out. Being a male homewrecker and so arrogant. Has he never been beaten up? Among the guests, many were Xiao Wan's good friends. But now, they were joining my good friends in pointing at Cheng Yunfei and scolding him loudly. Xiao Wan finally understood. Her bloodshot eyes were terrifying. She approached Cheng Yunfei step by step. You said you took my phone to play games, but you were actually sending messages to Xu Chen, provoking Xu Chen. Didn't I warn you? I can give you anything you want, but you can't let Xu Chen know you exist. Didn't I emphasize this to you? I only have one husband in this life, and that's Xu Chen. Xiao Wan looked at the chat history on the screen. Suddenly, she felt immense pity for me. She didn't dare to imagine what I had been through these past days. Every time Cheng Yunfei sent me a provocative message, how broken I must have been, how helpless, how painful. If I had treated her like this, she probably would have gone crazy long ago. Xiao Wan's face was ashen. She stared coldly at Cheng Yunfei. A chill radiated from her. Cheng Yunfei shook his head. This was the first time Xiao Wan had been so cold to him. He tried to defend himself. He was the one who called and cursed at me first. I couldn't swallow my anger, so I retaliated. If he hadn't cursed at me first, I wouldn't have provoked him. Xiao Wan's eyes were bloodshot. She fiercely swung her handbag at Cheng Yunfei, hitting him several times. You still want to make excuses? With Xu Chen personality, how could he possibly call and curse at you? He wouldn't even bother to pay attention to you. Cheng Yunfei was hit on his wound. The pain made his face turn pale. He managed to utter a few words. The surgical wound hurts so much. Don't be angry. You'll scare the baby in your belly. Xiao Wan took a deep breath. She retracted her hand and said through gritted teeth, if it weren't for the fact that you're the child's father, I could deal with you right now. You should be thankful that you're its father. Cheng Yunfei panted heavily. His gaze was evasive. The hotel manager rushed up to the 3rd floor. He pressed the remote control and found that he couldn't control the screen. In the end, he could only order someone to cut the power. This whole drama finally ended on an unhappy note. In the spacious grand hall, only Xiao Wan remained. She picked up her phone and called Lin Feng Xing. The call connected immediately. Before Xiao Wan could say anything, Lin Feng Xing beat her to it with a sarcastic remark. Isn't today CEOT's grand wedding? Congratulations. Too bad I am not free to come over tonight. I missed your wedding of the century. Xiao Wan's expression was very bad. She explained in a hoarse voice. This is all a misunderstanding. Xu Chen misunderstood me. I will explain it to him. A misunderstanding? On the other end of the line, Lin Feng Xing laughed coldly. Is letting your first love get you pregnant also a misunderstanding? Xiao Wan, you know better than anyone how much Xu Chen has sacrificed for this relationship. I met Xiao Wan that year, when I was in my 3rd year of university in Lam Then Ha. I originally planned to immigrate to Norway with my parents after graduation, but Xiao Wan's appearance made me stay. I, a young master coddled by my parents, decidedly chose to stay in the country. I only went back to Norway to stay with my parents for 1 week each year. All of this was just because Xiao Wan said one thing when we were deeply in love: stay with me. Xu Chen. I remembered it for 5 years, and during my 5 years of marriage, outsiders all thought I was just a kept man living off of Xiao Wan. But few people knew that some of Xiao Wan's important connections were all arranged by me. I have a high EQ. Plus, I love the person I love's entire family. Over the past 5 years, Xiao Wan, relatives and friends around her, the senior managers and the maids, there was no one who didn't respect me. Xiao Wan's face was pale. After a long while, she asked in a hoarse voice, Xu Chen, he knows I am pregnant already. She had clearly hidden it so well. Did Cheng Yunfei tell him? On the other end of the line, Lin Feng Xing sneered. Did you really want to hide it from Xu Chen for a lifetime? Weren't you planning to secretly give birth to the child and raise it to adulthood? At this moment, Lin Feng Xing felt very lucky that I could cut my losses in time. Xiao Wan, that kind of trashy woman who's too timing, is really not suitable to walk hand in hand with for the rest of life. I deserve a better woman. Her thoughts having been guessed, Xiao Wan's face turned ashen. A gloomy look appeared in her clear eyes. Where did Xu Chen go in the end? I am going to find him now, to explain to him. Lin Feng Xing narrowed his eyes. He changed the subject and suddenly asked, can you go get an abortion? If you can, I'll tell you his whereabouts. Xiao Wan hesitated for a moment. She sighed. You don't know Xu Chen. He has a problem with his body. He can't get me pregnant. After I give birth to the child, I will tell Cheng Yunfei to leave Lam Then immediately. He will never be allowed to set foot in Lam Then again. Lin Feng Xing silently shook his head. He once again felt it was unfair for me. My good friend, once so deeply in love with Xiao Wan, foolishly took the blame of infertility for her, and Xiao Wan, after I left, is still considering having a child. Even if I really couldn't get her pregnant, Xiao Wan shouldn't have chosen the most hurtful way to give birth to a child that looks like her first love. I have nothing to say. Xiao Wan, you will one day pay the price for your actions. Xiao Wan frowned. She just felt that Lin Feng Xing words sounded very strange. She still wanted to ask more questions, but the other side had already hung up. Xiao Wan still felt uneasy. She started contacting my good friends one by one, asking about my whereabouts. Today's birthday party, aside from Lin Feng Xing not coming, basically all of my good friends came. They knew Xiao Wan had an affair during the marriage, too timing with her first love. Some of them directly refused to answer her calls, and those who did answer mostly cursed her out, defending me. Xiao Wan ended up making dozens of calls, but still couldn't get any news about me. Helpless, she could only hire an expert to track my whereabouts. The next day at noon, in Xiao Wan's office, the assistant pushed the door open and carefully reported, CEO Xiao, he has gone to Norway. Xiao Wan's expression was grave. She closed her eyes and completely fell into despair. 5 years ago, when she and I registered our marriage, Hua's parents had her sign an agreement. If I was hurt because of her and returned to Norway alone, she would not be allowed to set foot in Norway for the rest of her life. Otherwise, all assets under her name would automatically belong solely to me. Xiao Wan was silent for a moment. She said in a hoarse voice, book a flight ticket to Norway as soon as possible. The assistant was stunned for a few seconds and advised in a small voice, CEO Xiao, once you set foot in Norway, whether you and he can get back together or not, the agreement you sign will automatically take effect. At that time, you will have nothing left. Are you sure you still want to go to Norway? Xiao Wan couldn't wait to see me. She wanted to explain to me. After telling her assistant to book the flight, she rushed back to the villa. Last night, she didn't dare to come home all night. Now, setting foot in this house again, just as the housekeeper said, all of my things were gone. She walked into the master bedroom and slowly opened the bedside drawer. Inside the drawer, all of my documents were gone. Xiao Wan's heart tightened. Looking at the empty bedroom, an immense despair, as vast as the sky and earth, washed over her. She told the maid to pack her luggage. She printed out the photos of us together from her phone, preparing to go to Norway to win me back. An hour later, Xiao Wan was preparing to leave for the airport. A figure suddenly rushed in. The person who came hugged her. He looked down at her. Are you planning to go to Norway? If our child, due to your emotional agitation, has an accident, what then? 10 minutes ago, Cheng Yunfei, in the villa behind, heard the news. If Xiao Wan went to Norway, the assets under her name would automatically belong to me. Cheng Yunfei absolutely couldn't sit still. Xiao Wan's face showed a struggling expression. Her small face was slightly serious. I'll go for a week and then come back. Cheng Yunfei shook his head and said through gritted teeth, your body is already not well. If you go there and argue with Xu Chen, 9 times out of 10, you will miscarry. If you're set on going, then you should get an abortion first. As the father, I have this right. He was gambling. Gambling that Xiao Wan wanted this child that didn't even exist. Xiao Wan hesitated for a moment. In the end, she still gave in. She thought of a compromise. I'll wait 2 months. Wait until the fetus is stable. I will go to Norway to find Xu Chen. Pausing for a moment, she stared coldly at Cheng Yunfei and said in a low voice, you had better pray that I can give birth to this child safely. Otherwise, I'll have your whole family buried with it. A chilling coldness appeared in the woman's eyes. Cheng Yunfei looked a little scared. If Xiao Wan knew she wasn't pregnant at all, that the pregnancy test report was faked by him and a doctor, that won't happen. He had arranged everything meticulously. She won't find out. At most, hell, just have to work harder during this time. At the same time, at the Norway airport, I walked out, pulling my suitcase. From afar, I saw my mother and father waiting in the arrival area. My mother looked at my haggard appearance and shed tears in silent heartache. The son she had poured all her energy into raising, after his short 5-year marriage, had become so haggard and tired. The light was gone from my son's eyes. Is everything back home settled? Last night, she and Hua's father had found out what happened in Lam. Then, Xiao Wan had betrayed me, secretly taking wedding photos with Cheng Yunfei and meeting his parents. It was a huge scandal. I looked at my parents. I knew I couldn't hide anything from them. I said with a choke in my voice, Mom, Dad, I'm sorry. Hua's parents were influential people in Norway. Now that I've caused this embarrassing situation, who knows how many people would mock them. My mother hugged me tenderly. She stroked my head. It's not your fault. You devoted yourself wholeheartedly to the marriage. That's not something to be ashamed of. Those who cheat in 2 times in a marriage, they are the most shameful. My ever-silent father nodded, strongly agreeing with his wife's words. A woman like Xiao Wan, divorcing her is actually a good thing. You've come back to Norway. Mom and Dad will take good care of you. If you don't want to take over the company, that's fine. Anyway, the money your father and I have earned is enough for you to live comfortably for several lifetimes. My mother held my hand, worried that I would get stuck in my thoughts. She gently advised, son, divorce is not a big deal. As our son, you will always have the capital to make mistakes. My mother is a famous iron lady. Her marriage to my father back then was a powerful alliance. Facing their only child, they naturally doted on me to the extreme. My dark eyes reddened. My cold heart finally warmed up. No matter what, my parents are always my biggest support. Mom, Dad, I am planning to continue my studies first. I'll take over the company when I am capable. These 7 years, I was immersed in a love I couldn't escape from. In the future, I will shift my focus to work and being with my parents. At the same time, in Lam then, Xiao Wan promised Cheng Yunfei to wait until her pregnancy was stable. She would only go to Norway to find me 2 months later, but during this time, she was clearly distancing herself from Cheng Yunfei. Cheng Yunfei invited her to dinner. Xiao Wan refused, using the excuse of being busy with work. Cheng Yunfei cried that his wound hurt. Xiao Wan directly made a phone call and told a doctor to come to the house to check. Cheng Yunfei said he missed her so much he couldn't eat. Xiao Wan said starving for 2 meals would be good for him. Even, Xiao Wan forced Cheng Yunfei to sign an agreement. After she gave birth, she would give Cheng Yunfei a sum of money. The condition was that Cheng Yunfei had to agree to never meet the child once in his entire life and not to set foot in Lam then. Cheng Yunfei looked at the agreement. He said, devastated, why? This is our child. You say, I can't see him. So I can't see him? Xiao Wan's face was ashen. She touched her belly. A hint of impatience flashed in her clear eyes. You should be thankful. You are the child's father. After Xiao Wan forced Cheng Yunfei to sign, she started posting some handwritten letters of remorse on Weibo, begging for her husband's forgiveness. To show her sincerity, she even filmed the entire process of handwriting them and posted it online. Unfortunately, netizens weren't buying it. The story of Xiao Wan, hiding from her husband to take wedding photos with her lover, had long been a hot topic online. The comment section was immediately filled mostly with curses. A late apology is cheaper than grass. Xu Chen, don't look back. Our Xu family legion will forever support you. Defeat the male homewrecker. Bring purity back to marriage. Xiao Wan ignored the comment section. She steadfastly wrote a handwritten letter every day. Sometimes it was a letter of self-criticism. Sometimes a letter about missing me. Sometimes a letter praying for my forgiveness. A month later, quite a few netizens were moved by Xiao Wan's persistence. They began to switch sides. On this side, Cheng Yunfei grew increasingly anxious. Recently, the frequency of Xiao Wan visits had become lower and lower. She only visited him once a week. Each time, she told him to talk to the child in her belly, that non-existent child, for a few words. Then she would leave in a hurry. Xiao Wan completely treated him only as the child's biological father, seeing that there was only 1 month left before Xiao Wan would leave for Norway. If she went to Norway, what if one day Xiao Wan went to the hospital for a checkup and found out there was basically nothing in her belly? Cheng Yunfei was at a dead end. He picked up his phone and contacted an old acquaintance. In the evening, a black car drove into the villa complex and stopped in front of Cheng Yunfei's villa. A young woman got out of the passenger seat. The black car immediately drove out of the villa complex. The woman lit a cigarette, swaying as she walked inside. She was wearing a black motorcycle leather jacket. Her small face was delicate. Her eyes held a hint of defiance and wildness. Whether up close or from afar, she had the air of a hoodlum, an uneducated second-generation rich kid. Cheng Yunfei saw Dao Lin and hurriedly got up from the sofa. He frowned fiercely. "Are you crazy? Tell the driver to drive in." Being so conspicuous like this, Dao Lin approached Cheng Yunfei and blew a puff of smoke in his face. Her red lips curled slightly. "What are you afraid of? Do you think Xiao Yuan doesn't know about our relationship?" The smoke choked Cheng Yunfei, and he coughed twice. He took 2 steps back. Dao Lin casually sat down on the sofa, crossing her legs nonchalantly. Her eyes scanned Cheng Yunfei up and down. "Calling me over here? Do you want to rekindle our old flame?" Cheng Yunfei looked at Dao Lin with disgust. He could only wonder how his taste could have been so bad in the past. He got straight to the point. "Xiao Yuan isn't pregnant." "What?" Dao Lin's clear eyes widened. Her smoking motion paused. She coughed hard twice. The scandal between Xiao Yuan and Cheng Yunfei was a huge mess, and she knew the general details. She looked at Cheng Yunfei, frowning slightly. "Are you crazy? How dare you lie to her about something like this?" Cheng Yunfei gave her a disgusted look, muttering in a low voice, "I wish I could get her pregnant." "Cheng Yunfei, is it because you can't perform?" Dao Lin looked him up and down, her face full of doubt. "All right. Fine. I have something to tell you." Cheng Yunfei's face turned serious. He said that Xiao Yuan didn't know she wasn't actually pregnant. He then mentioned that Xiao Yuan was preparing to go to Norway. After hearing this, Dao Lin put out her cigarette butt on the table. She squinted. "I get it. You mean, if Xiao Yuan goes to Norway, all the assets under her name will automatically belong solely to Xu Chen. Then you'll have no way of getting her money. However, what does this have to do with me?" Cheng Yunfei looked at Dao Lin, a strange look flashing in his dark eyes. "Of course it's related. Whether you can turn your life around depends on this." Dao Lin frowned. She stared at him. "What do you want to do?" Cheng Yunfei squinted, looking Dao Lin up and down. Dao Lin was his ex-girlfriend. She was from the Dao family. The Dao family's old mansion was in Fengcheng, next to Lin. As a prosperous family in Fengcheng, their assets were much larger than the Xiao families. But unfortunately, when he was dating Dao Lin, he didn't know that Dao Lin was not born to the main wife. The Dao family's rules were strict. Children of concubines were not allowed to interfere with the Dao family's business. So for all these years, Dao Lin could only get a small allowance from the Dao family. She couldn't touch the Dao family's assets at all. Cheng Yunfei stared at Dao Lin. In the dim living room, he spoke coldly. "You go to Norway and find a way to deal with Xu Chen." Dao Lin's motion of lighting a cigarette paused. She stared at Cheng Yunfei in astonishment. The man before her had clearly become greedy. "What does your business have to do with me?" A cold aura emanated from Cheng Yunfei's handsome face. "Dao Lin, Xiao Yuan is the most likely person to inherit the entire Xiao family fortune. When I successfully secure my position, if you help me, you won't be short of benefits." He paused for a moment. Cheng Yunfei squinted. "In the Dao family, you can only receive an allowance for the rest of your life. If you leave the Dao family, you won't be content with a small job, and you certainly won't be able to start a business as you wish. The moment you try to start a business, that old woman from the Dao family will do everything she can to hinder you. You get rid of Xu Chen and put an end to Xiao Yuan's plans to go to Norway. Wait for me to secure my position, and I'll guarantee you'll live a life of luxury, never having to care about the opinions of the Dao family again. Most importantly, I've already planned it all out. I will arrange a plan for Xiao Yuan to have a miscarriage. Then I'll get a doctor to convince her to do IVF. I'll have her carry a child that is mine and yours." In the dim living room, Cheng Yunfei's words were resolute. Dao Lin looked at the moon outside the window. She clenched her fist. Clearly, she was moved. "I'll book the flight for tomorrow." Before leaving, Dao Lin grabbed Cheng Yunfei's chin and said sinisterly, "If you dare to play me, I'll kill you." At the same time, at the XU residence in Norway, I finished my online course and lay leisurely on the rattan chair on the balcony, casually roasting something over a small fire. This past month, I stayed away from the low-quality relationship and immersed myself in my studies. My whole complexion was glowing and radiant. My spirits and appearance looked much better. I was just about to peel a roasted sweet potato when my phone suddenly vibrated. From the speaker, Lin Fenghang's teasing voice came through. "The deeply devoted woman is now posting handwritten love letters all over the internet. Have you seen them?" I frowned, as if I had heard some piece of trash. My handsome face was full of disgust. "I don't care about matters in lynching. Handwritten love letters? Can't she just get a divorce peacefully? You have no idea. The devoted woman writes a love letter every day, and she even posts videos of her writing them. She's moved the entire internet now." Lin Fenghang talked about what Xiao Yuan had been doing recently. Suddenly, he changed the subject. "I heard that in a month, Xiao Yuan is planning to come to Norway to find you." My motion of peeling the roasted sweet potato paused. "I won't see her." On the other end of the line, Lin Fenghang stirred his glass of honey water. "I know. I am just afraid that when Xiao Yuan comes to find you, and the 5-year agreement comes into effect, but you don't reconcile with her, she'll lose both you and her money. There's no telling what she'll do if she goes crazy." I was stunned. Then I immediately understood. The reason Lin Fenghang called this time was to remind me to be careful. Lin Fenghang really is my good brother. He'll be careful. After hanging up, I didn't tell my parents that Xiao Yuan was coming. They have worried about me enough during this time. They were already preparing to announce publicly that I would be taking over the XU family's business, supporting me as I take charge. In the afternoon, my mother came back from the company. She gently knocked on my door. Come to dinner with us tomorrow night. Your father and I will introduce you to someone. I looked up from my computer and obediently replied, okay. During this time, I had become familiar with my parents' habits. Their private dinner appointments were always with prominent and influential figures around here. The next afternoon, I drove my parents out. I didn't notice a black car following closely behind us. The dinner was at a cliffside restaurant by the sea. The view outside the window was of snow-capped mountains and canyons. I had just sat down for a moment when I got up to go to the restroom. Walking through the corridor, I was captivated by the sea view and stopped in my tracks. The vast, boundless ocean, accompanied by a gentle, cool breeze. I really liked this feeling. Just as I was immersed in the beautiful scenery, a dark figure suddenly approached. He placed both hands on my shoulders and pushed hard. I lost my balance and instinctively tried to grab the railing. Quickly, the man pushed me again. I fell heavily, plunging into the freezing seawater. In the cold ocean, I wanted to scream for help, but the bone-chilling water prevented me from making a sound. The fierce waves nearly submerged me. Just as I was about to lose consciousness, a slender hand grabbed me in time. 5 minutes later, I was rescued and brought ashore. I weakly opened my eyes to find myself lying in the arms of a beautiful woman. The woman was soaked from head to toe. Her elegant, ivory long dress clung to her body, drenched. Her hair was dripping water, but it did not detract from her stunning beauty at all. The woman looked at me and helped me up. Mr. XU, it's cold. Let me take you to change your clothes. 5 minutes later, I finished changing my clothes and leaned against the heater. The warm air gradually brought my thoughts back. I stared blankly at the woman before me. You know me? I hadn't forgotten that the woman before me had just called me Mr. XU. Lu Xindao smiled. She had changed into a casual black long dress, looking incredibly charming. I know Mr. XU Chen. I was stunned for a few seconds, then ventured a guess. Could you be the person my parents invited to dinner tonight? Lu Xindao's lips curled as she nodded. I looked at the woman before me in surprise. Someone my parents held in high regard. It meant the woman before me was either wealthy or noble. This past month, my parents had introduced me to many important figures, all of whom were in their 40s or 50s. It was rare to meet someone my age. I looked at Lu Xindao and said softly, please don't tell my parents about what just happened. I don't want to make them worry. The two of them quickly returned to the restaurant. Lu Xindao was very courteous. She let me enter first, and followed slowly 2 minutes later. My mother saw that I had changed my clothes, and asked quizzically, why did you change your clothes? Just now in the restroom, I accidentally fell. My clothes got dirty. I lowered my head. Lu Xindao's eyes swept over my face, and her lips curled imperceptibly. The dinner was very harmonious. I came to understand the woman before me a little better. It turned out the Lu family was mainly in the oil industry. Here in Norway, the Lu family was doing better than the XU family. During this dinner, my father hoped that Lu Xindao would help his son more in the future. Seeing that my parents were about to leave, I casually found an excuse, saying I wanted to take a walk and stayed behind. Does Mr. XU want to see the security footage? Lu Xindao's clear eyes rested on my face. I was surprised by the woman before me. She could actually see through my actions. My parents were here just now, and there were many things I didn't want them to know. I want to know who wants to harm me. Analyzing the force of the push, it should be a man. Lu Xindao stood up and said considerately, it'll take you to find their boss. A long while later, in the security room, the restaurant staff pulled up the security footage from that time. He said helplessly. The man covered the camera lens before he acted. Mr. XU. The security camera couldn't capture the scene of you being pushed into the water. He paused for a moment. The staff member said carefully, that man was probably instructed. Our restaurant's entrance has footage showing that he got out of a woman's car. I frowned. Your restaurant's security cameras. Did they manage to capture the real faces of this man and woman? 4 staff members began to take turns reviewing the surveillance video. Half an hour later, all 4 shook their heads. Sorry. Both of them were wearing masks and hats. The security cameras couldn't capture their faces. My face was grim. Send me all the surveillance videos in which this woman appears. I want to catch them, so I need to catch the mastermind. On the way home, I sent the surveillance video to Lin Fenghang. Help me look into this person. What happened? Lin Fenghang vaguely sensed something was wrong and said worriedly, I told him what happened tonight. I frowned. If Lu Xindao hadn't appeared in time, I would have been killed by this bitch. Lin Fenghang's expression turned serious. Leave it to me. It'll help you find out who this person is. At the same time, in the villa's living room, Cheng Yunfei had called Xiao Yuan more than 10 times, but the other side kept ignoring the calls. He coldly threw his phone onto the sofa. Suddenly, the phone rang. Cheng Yunfei impatiently picked up the phone. Seeing that it was Dao Lin, his face showed disappointment. What did you say? XU Chen was saved by someone? Who was that woman? Cheng Yunfei listened as Dao Lin recounted what happened tonight, his expression becoming terrifyingly dark. His dark eyes were full of jealousy. How can his life be so good? On the other end of The line. Dao Lin sat in the car, her clear eyes sinister and full of malice. He dodged a bullet this time. Hell, surely be very careful and cautious recently. It will be difficult for me to make a move. Cheng Yunfei's face was cold. He said in a low voice, don't act rashly for now. Wait for the right opportunity to strike. I will deal with him. Don't worry. Just wait for me to come back obediently at home. Seeing that Dao Lin was about to say some sweet nothings, Cheng Yunfei hung up in disgust. Another week passed. I started to take over the XU family's business. My parents were worried that I wouldn't be able to handle it all at once, so they specially controlled my work intensity. But I hadn't worked in a long time, so after entering the workplace, I was still a little anxious. Fortunately, Lu Xindao was here. She could usually enlighten me. Don't worry. Approach client negotiations with a playful mindset. If you succeed, celebrate. If you fail, just consider it as making a new friend. When I was almost overwhelmed by my busy work schedule, Lu Xindao would give me advice. How is your alcohol tolerance? When I am stressed, I'll have a small drink to cheer myself up. Although we are workhorses, we should still be happy workhorses. Entertain yourself. I burst out laughing. Her humorous and witty words made me laugh out loud. Lu Xindao was no workhorse. She was a daughter of destiny. With Lu Xindao to cheer me up, I got through this week smoothly. But Dao Lin had long lost her patience. My predictable life of going between 3 points gave her no opportunity to strike. Today, after I finished a big meeting, I suddenly received a call from Lin Fenghang, ex-Yu Chen. I found her. From the speaker, Lin Fenghang's voice was serious. I returned to my office and closed the door. Who is she? Dao Lin, Cheng Yunfei's ex-girlfriend. Lin Fenghang relayed some information about Dao Lin. Dao Lin, from the Dao family in Fengcheng. The Dao family is slightly more powerful than the Xiao family. Unfortunately, Dao Lin was not born to the main wife. Dao Lin's mother, Chen Yan, was too ambitious, and her ambitions were discovered by the old master of the Dao family early on. He had people secretly monitor Dao Lin's every move, preventing her from touching anyone or anything related to the Dao family's business. And after Cheng Yunfei learned about this, he chose to break up with Dao Lin. After that, Cheng Yunfei went abroad to find a girlfriend, but the other party didn't choose him. At a dead end, he returned to the country to find Xiao Yuan again. I frowned, thinking of something. She and Cheng Yunfei have teamed up. On the other end of the line, Lin Fenghang was silent for a few seconds. I guess so too. Dao Lin clearly wanted to kill you last time. I guess. She probably wanted you to die. To stop Xiao Yuan from going to Norway. He paused for a moment. Lin Fenghang said unhappily. I don't know what Cheng Yunfei brainwashed her with. I sat down in my office chair. I thought for a moment and said, in that case, let's give them what they want. Lin Fenghang frowned. You want to fake your death? I nodded. I analyzed calmly. Once I fake my death, Xiao Yuan will rush over for the funeral. I can seize her assets. Who told her to pretend to be so deeply in love? If I fake my death, Cheng Yunfei won't have Dao Lin come after me anymore. It's very annoying to be followed by her like a shadow. Most importantly, as long as Xiao Yuan comes to Norway for the funeral, I can also make Cheng Yunfei's greed for her money come to nothing. This is a method that kills 3 birds with 1 stone. However, to fake my death, I still need someone's help. After thinking it over, I went to ask Lu Xindao for help. You mean, you want me to introduce you to a method that will allow the other party to harm you quickly, but without actually harming you? A strange expression appeared on Lu Xindao's delicate face. I nodded. I didn't hide anything from Lu Xindao and told her everything that had happened in the past 2 months. When talking about the past, I had no extra emotions, as if I was telling someone else's story. I want to completely sever ties with these people and things, but I don't want to let them off so easily. Faking my death is the most beneficial method for me. Lu Xindao looked at me, a look of pity appearing in her clear eyes. She thought for a few seconds, then analyzed the situation for me seriously. Logically speaking, jumping into the sea is the easiest way to fake a death, but you just experienced something like that, so you shouldn't go to the sea again anytime soon. Falling off a cliff has too high of a risk factor. I would still recommend a fatal car accident. I frowned. I thought about it carefully for a moment, and completely agreed with Lu Xindao's words. Recently, my activities have been very routine, and I've been extremely cautious. The opportunities for Dao Lin to make a move on me are not many. Tampering with the car I often drive is the simplest method. However, how do I lure her into tampering with my car? Lu Xindao curled her lips into a smile. Leave it to me, thanks a lot. I am very grateful. The next day at noon, Dao Lin saw that she still couldn't make a move on me. She drove straight back to the apartment building, found a restaurant for dinner. Just after ordering, 2 foreign men wearing black hats walked slowly towards the restaurant. The 2 men looked alike. They looked like brothers. Both had tall and strong builds. They had large tattoos on their wrists and necks, from near or far. They didn't look like good people. They sat at the table next to Dao Lin's, casually tossing a backpack full of wrenches onto the adjacent chair. Speaking in English in low voices, this job will be enough to feed us for more than half a year. The speaker was a bit older, nearly 40-year-old old William. He opened a bottle of beer and chugged it down his throat. Sitting opposite him was a slightly younger-looking man, nearly 28-year-old young William, who rolled up his sleeves. He and old William clinked their beer bottles, drinking with a grand gesture. We've already tampered with that car. It's raining again today. As long as the kid drives, he's bound to get into trouble. He paused for a moment. He shook his head. You really can't find a stepmother for your child. These stepmothers seem nice to the children on the surface, but it only lasts for a couple of years. 2 years later, when the child becomes an adult and gets a driver's license, the stepmother can't wait to take the child's life. Dao Lin, who was nearby, heard this. Her clear eyes shifted slightly, and an idea came to her. She was itching to go over and talk to them, but couldn't find an opportunity. Old William squinted and added another strong dose. If it weren't for these vicious people, where would we make money? Young William nodded. The more of these people, the better. We can do a few more jobs and then retire. At this moment, Dao Lin couldn't sit still any longer. She stood up and sat at their table, smiling amicably. You two gentlemen, this meal is on me. I have something I'd like to ask. Old William became vigilant. His tone was unfriendly. Do we know each other? Dao Lin shook her head. She put on a fawning smile. We don't. I have a favor to ask. As the saying goes, to meet is fate. Doing one job is still doing a job. Doing two jobs is also doing a job. Could you two please help me with this while you're at it? She paused for a moment. The smile on Dao Lin's face grew wider. How much did the previous person pay you for the job? I'll pay double. Old William and young William looked at each other. Old William frowned. After a few seconds, he gritted his teeth. It's a deal. It doesn't matter who we make money from. Dao Lin breathed a sigh of relief. She raised her beer and clinked it against the men's. The three of them talked in low voices for half an hour. Dao Lin showed them my picture, and finally left, satisfied. As soon as Dao Lin left, Old William walked out of the restaurant, got into a car, and called Lu Xin Dao, reporting. CEO, Lu. Dao Lin has taken the man. Bait. Lu Xin Dao was sitting at her office desk. She twirled a fountain pen in her hand. What did she say? Old William recounted Dao Lin's plan in meticulous detail. Dao Lin told us to wait for the next rainy day, when Mr. Xu's car drives into the company parking lot. We are to tamper with the car. He paused for a moment. Old William's voice was low. Dao Lin repeatedly instructed us that we must be ruthless to ensure we can get rid of Mr. Xu in one go. If we succeed, she will add another 500,000 for us. Lu Xindao stopped twirling the fountain pen. A cold look appeared on her small face. She's quite generous. Old William heard the coldness in Lu Xin Dao's voice. He was stunned for a few seconds. CEO Lu normally doesn't show her emotions, but this time she couldn't hide them. So, what should I do then? Lu Xin Dao thought for a moment and instructed. You just tamper with it lightly. Leave the rest to me. She would arrange for someone to replace me, to drive the car for me. At that time, well, stage a fatal car accident. Yes. CEO Lu. 5 days later, it rained heavily in Norway. Early in the morning, I drove to the company's underground parking lot as usual. After I parked the car, I walked slowly into the elevator. In a car not far away, Dao Lin stared at my back and called Old William. Wait until the morning rush hour is over. You can make your move. Yes. Miss Dao. During the lunch break when there were fewer people, Old William and young William, dressed in black shirts and pants, wearing black masks and black hats, broke the lock on my car's hood. After fiddling around for a while, they left stealthily. Old William drove out of the parking lot. I am done on my end. Dao Lin nodded. The remaining money has been transferred. If you get rid of Xu Chen in one go, I will transfer 500,000 to your account. Thank you. Miss Dao. In the afternoon after work, many cars drove out of the parking lot one after another. Dao Lin hid in her car. She waited until 7:30 inches the evening. Before I slowly walked towards the parking lot, I got into the car, started the engine directly, and drove straight home. Dao Lin hurriedly drove after me. In the driver's seat, I squinted at the rearview mirror. I drove straight for a stretch of road. On a slope with very few cars, I quickly maneuvered the steering wheel. The car skidded, spun 3 times on the spot, its speed not decreasing, and crashed straight into a tree on the side, almost instantly. The front of the car burst into flames. Dao Lin smiled in satisfaction. She took out her phone and snapped a picture, then pretended like nothing happened and drove away. Half an hour later, Xu's parents arrived at the hospital, devastated. They publicly issued an obituary. It is with great sadness that we announce that our son, Xu Chen, passed away due to a car accident after rescue efforts failed. On date, at time, has left us forever. At the age, he was a person full of love, kindness, and a love for life. His laughter and love will forever remain in our hearts. May he rest in peace in heaven. If there is a next life, we will still be father and son. As soon as this obituary was released, it shocked many people. Lin Chengvilla, Cheng Yunfei, looked at the screenshot of the obituary sent by Dao Lin and paced around the living room excitedly. He laughed almost manically, mumbling to himself, Good. I've finally gotten rid of this stumbling block. Oh. Xu Chen, don't blame me. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for blocking my path to wealth. Xiao Wan's office. When she heard the news, Xiao Wan was in a late night meeting. Her phone suddenly vibrated. Xiao Wan picked it up to look. She saw that a friend had sent the obituary about my death in a car accident. Her eyes turned red, and her small frame trembled violently, as if something had been torn away from her. She screamed almost manically. Impossible. How could her ex Yu Chen be dead? It was the first time the assistant had seen Xiao Wan lose her composure in front of the senior executives. Realizing something was wrong, he glanced at Xiao Wan's screen and saw my obituary. He was stunned for a few seconds and hurriedly told the senior executives to leave first. CEO, Xiao, my condolences. Xiao Wan's eyes were bloodshot. She stood up unsteadily. Just as she was about to walk out, her vision suddenly went black, and she fell straight down. The assistant quickly caught Xiao Wan. CEO, Xiao, is anyone there? Take CEO Xiao to the hospital. 2 hours later, Xiao Wan opened her eyes again. The first thing she did was take out her phone to look at the obituary again. Her lips quivered. Her body trembled as she broke down crying. Ex Yu Chen, I am sorry. How could you bear to leave me all alone? How can I live without you? Xiao Wan muttered to herself. She looked at the assistant beside her and said with red eyes, book me the earliest flight to Norway. I want to see him one last time. As soon as she finished speaking, Cheng Yunfei, who had rushed over, stood stunned at the door of the hospital room. He looked at the almost manically collapsing Xiao Wan with an ambiguous look in his eyes. Back then, when he had resolutely decided to leave Xiao Wan, he hadn't seen her collapse like this. What was so good about me? Anyway, Cheng Yunfei walked up to Xiao Wan. He grabbed Xiao Wan's hand and madly vented his grievances. You're planning to go to Norway. Ex Yu Chen is already dead. What's the use of you going there? If you go there now, you'll come back penniless. Xiao Wan raised her head sharply and fiercely threw off Cheng Yunfei's hand. She stood up and approached Cheng Yunfei, step by step with a gloomy face. Cheng Yunfei was frightened by her sinister gaze. He kept backing away until he hit the wall. Xiao Wan clenched her small hand into a fist and punched him hard. If you hadn't stopped me before from going to find ex Yu Chen, he and I would have already reconciled. How could he have gotten into a car accident? You indirectly harmed ex Yu Chen, Cheng Yunfei. Right now, I shouldn't get too emotional. Wait until I've successfully given birth to the child. I will torture you. The woman's voice was fierce. Cheng Yunfei was so scared he trembled, not daring to say a word. After Xiao Wan let go, Cheng Yunfei looked at the woman's determined back as she left. He fell to the ground, his dark eyes filled with panic and hatred. It's all gone. Nothing is left. He had calculated everything, but he hadn't calculated that Xiao Wan would know that she would become penniless if she went and still choose to go. No, once Xiao Wan goes to Norway, the agreement will take effect. Then what's the point of me being with her? I have to reconcile with Dao Lin. Although Dao Lin is an illegitimate child, she's still better than a penniless Xiao Wan. Cheng Yunfei was a man of action. He picked up his phone and called Dao Lin, speaking gently. When are you coming back? I'll cook for you myself. The next afternoon was my funeral. The sky was gray, and it was drizzling. Ex Yu's parents carried my portrait inside. There were many mourners. Xiao Wan rushed over. She wore no makeup. Her small face was haggard, as if she had aged 10 years overnight. Arriving at the funeral hall, Xiao Wan staggered inside and knelt directly in front of my memorial altar, kowtowing 3 times. I am sorry, my love. I am late. As she spoke, she slapped herself hard a few times and said through sobs, I shouldn't have indulged Cheng Yunfei. I should have come to Norway to find you sooner. Are you in pain? Getting hit by the car. You must have cried from the pain. If only I had been by your side, I could have saved you. My love, can you wake up? Wake up and look at me. The surrounding mourners watched this scene in astonishment. They all knew about the situation between Xiao Wan and me. The rumors said that Xiao Wan didn't love her husband but loved a wild man on the side. But now, the scene before them made the rumors seem false. Ex-US parents stood coldly to the side. The two of them looked at each other without saying a word. Xiao Wan didn't notice that, among the mourners, there was a familiar figure. A man dressed in a simple black shirt, wearing a black mask, stared coldly at Xiao Wan. Beside him, Lu Xindao was holding a black umbrella for him. She saw me staring at Xiao Wan. Her clear eyes flickered, feeling sorry for her. I frowned and met Lu Xindao's gaze. My voice was cold. I don't feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for myself. When I received the first taunting voice message from Cheng Yunfei, I couldn't sleep all night. That night, Xiao Wan and Cheng Yunfei slept soundly. On my 5th wedding anniversary, the blue fireworks outside were something another man didn't want, so Xiao Wan gave them to him. When I was hospitalized after the car accident, Xiao Wan brought another man to our home and slept in our marital bed. The person I should feel most sorry for. Isn't it myself? Lu Xingdao withdrew her gaze. Seeing the emptiness in my eyes, she reminded me, are you going to keep watching? Or should we go for a walk, Mr. Xu Jin Sheng? I curled my lips. My thin lips curved upwards. Just yesterday, I got my new identification documents. My name is now Xu. X. In. Sheng. Embracing a new life. Another week passed. Xu's parents publicly announced that their nephew, Xu Xiyin Sheng, would take over the company. As soon as this news came out, it once again shook the entire high society circle. Meanwhile, in Lincheng, ever since Xiao Wan returned from Norway, she had been listless and melancholic. She drowned her sorrows in alcohol all day, clutching my portrait and crying, Xu Chen, my Xu Chen, you must be tricking me. You're not dead, right? Please come back. I was wrong. I won't betray you again. I should have cheated. During the days of Xiao Wan's breakdown, lawyer Li took the agreement she had signed 5 years ago and proceeded with the asset transfer procedures, since the person named Xu Chen no longer existed. In this world, these assets ultimately belonged to Xu's parents. Mother Xu did not indulge Xiao Wan. She called lawyer Li and instructed him, the houses, cars, and collectibles under Xiao Wan's name. Put anything that can be sold online to be exchanged for cash. Don't leave a single thing for her. She wanted to let Xiao Wan know that those who are faithful will prosper, while those who cheat will face a downward spiral. Yes, madam. A week later, lawyer Li arrived at Xiao Wan's villa. He looked at the haggard woman before him, a flash of surprise in his eyes. Just for a second, his expression immediately returned to normal. CEO Xiao, Madam Xu has asked me to sell the villa. Today, the new owner has already signed the takeover contract. So, could you please? Lawyer Li hadn't finished speaking when Xiao Wan raised her head sharply and laughed miserably. You're telling me to move out, right? Xu Chen is dead. This villa hasn't had any of his things for a long time. There's no point in me staying. Xiao Wan staggered outside. The assistant beside her followed, worried. During this time, she missed me so much that she only slept 1 or 2 hours a day at her lowest point. She even tried to slit her wrists. Therefore, before Xiao Wan even stepped out of the garden, her legs gave way, and she fainted again. The assistant took Xiao Wan to the hospital. She couldn't watch this go on any longer and called that number. 2 hours later, a large group of people walked into the hospital, led by the Xiao family matriarch. She walked into the hospital room and looked at the miserably haggard Xiao Wan on the hospital bed. Feeling an anger with no outlet, a nurse was preparing to insert a needle into the back of Xiao Wan's hand. She was about to give Xiao Wan an IV drip, but Xiao Wan pulled the needle right out. The nurse sighed. She inserted the needle again and again. Xiao Wan pulled it right out. This time, the needle cut a blood vessel, leaving a bright red streak. The Xiao family matriarch couldn't watch any longer. She forcefully picked up her cane and struck Xiao Wan hard with it. Xiao Wan, kneel. When Xiao Wan saw the Xiao family matriarch, it was like seeing a lifeline, but the words she spoke had long since lost the will to live. Grandma, I want to go down and find Xu Chen. Can you grant me this wish? I want to be buried with him. Please help me talk to his parents. The Xiao family matriarch's face turned ashen. Her kind face looked terrifyingly cold. She pulled Xiao Wan up directly and dragged her to the bathroom mirror, splashing a handful of cold water on her face. Look at what you've become now. Among all the granddaughters of our Xiao family, you are the worst. Xiao Wan stiffly raised her head and looked at herself in the mirror. The woman in the mirror had hollow cheeks and lifeless eyes, like a walking corpse. Her whole body exuded an air of gloom. In the time since she lost me, she had truly been living like neither a human nor a ghost. Clearly, 5 years ago, she and I had promised to grow old together. But when exactly did she change? Was it that she grew tired of a life as bland as water and wanted to seek some excitement? Seeing her close friends left and right, constantly changing men, did she feel an itch in her heart, thinking she could hide it very well? She decided to two-time, becoming more and more brazen. Thinking of these things, Xiao Yuan slapped herself again. It was all her fault. She destroyed their beautiful married life. If she hadn't let me down and I had returned to Norway, how could I have died in a car accident in Norway? The Xiao family matriarch looked at Xiao Yuan's face, full of regret, and let out a long sigh. Xiao Yuan was a favored daughter of heaven in everyone's eyes. She was once the granddaughter she was most proud of. Now, she wanted to commit suicide over a relationship. The Xiao family matriarch's face turned pale. She instructed the assistant to have her wash her face and change her clothes. Half an hour later, Xiao Yuan finally regained her former appearance. She sat before the Xiao family matriarch, completely refreshed. Grandma. In front of the Xiao family matriarch was a stack of documents. She first threw the wedding photos of Xiao Yuan and Cheng Yunfei in front of her. She coughed lightly twice. Her old voice carried a natural authority. Xiao Yuan, you cheated first. I don't have the face to see Xu Chen's parents. The properties and money under your name now belong to them. Consider it atonement for what you've done. She paused for a moment. The Xiao family matriarch pulled out recent news reports about Xiao Yuan. With a forceful wave of her hand, she threw them in Xiao Yuan's face. Take a good look at how the public sees you now. Xiao Yuan frowned. She scanned the news. It was all overwhelmingly negative coverage about her. Deeply in love, woman cheats with her first love, harming her innocent ex-husband. The goddess of pure love played with her husband's feelings. Now it's too late for regrets. Cherish life. Stay away from scummy women. When Xiao Yuan and my relationship first began, we had a lot of fans online. Many netizens watched us from marriage to divorce. They knew the inside story. Not a single person didn't feel sorry for me. A while ago, a netizen posted online about me dying in a car crash in Norway. The netizens then directed their animosity towards Xiao Yuan, attacking her for playing with feelings and pretending to be a goddess of pure love. Because the netizens' attitude was so extreme, it severely affected the Xiao group's stock recently. The Xiao family matriarch looked at the Xiao Yuan before her. She took a deep breath and said, I will make an announcement, banning you from interfering with the Xiao family's business for 5 years. This is the punishment for your recent misconduct. The Xiao family's ancestral teachings state that one must be loyal and dedicated in marriage. Only with family harmony can all things prosper. Xiao Yuan lowered her eyes gloomily. Her grandmother punished her with a 5-year ban from the family business. Grandfather has many grandchildren. In these 5 years, who knows how many of her cousins would surpass and crush her. She would most likely lose her status as the successor forever. However, she had already lost me. What was the point of having the Xiao family's business? I understand. Grandma. The Xiao family matriarch shook her head in disappointment and left with her cane. When Cheng Yunfei found out, Xiao Yuan was ordered by the Xiao family matriarch to be banned from the Xiao family's business for 5 years. He sat alone in the living room, his mind in a mess. The last time he called Dao Lin, he said he wanted to personally cook a meal to reward her. Dao Lin said she would immediately return to the country to see him, but not long after. Dao Lin called him again, she said. The old man of the Dao family told her to return to the old mansion. Since that phone call, he hadn't been able to contact Dao Lin. Now that Xiao Yuan was banned from the Xiao family's business, he had to speed up his reconciliation with Dao Lin. So Cheng Yunfei called Dao Lin's phone again. The speaker still played the prompt that the other party's phone was off. Cheng Yunfei hesitated for a moment and called Dao Lin's best friend to ask about Dao Lin's whereabouts. The other side was silent for a few seconds and then said, You don't know? Dao Lin got into a car accident. She's dead. Cheng Yunfei's pupils widened in disbelief. He didn't know that Dao Lin died on the day of my funeral. The day I faked my death in a car crash. After returning home, I took the initiative to contact the old man of the Dao family. I sent the surveillance video of Dao Lin repeatedly trying to harm me over. The old man of the Dao family was silent for a few seconds. He apologized on behalf of his granddaughter and asked me how I wanted to resolve it. I didn't want any compensation. I only hoped the old man of the Dao family would give me justice and keep the fact that I was still alive a secret. That night, Dao Lin was called back to the country. The next day, Dao Lin rushed to the Dao family's old mansion, which was also the day of my funeral. The old man of the Dao family met her and immediately used family discipline. He took a whip and struck Dao Lin more than 100 times, forcing her to turn herself in the next day. But Dao Lin didn't think she was at fault. She blamed it all on her origins. She thought the mistake was having a mother who was a mistress. In the middle of the night, Dao Lin climbed over the wall to escape the Dao family's old mansion. The old man of the Dao family ordered the bodyguards to chase her. That night, there was a rainstorm. Dao Lin's car suddenly skidded. She died in the car crash on the spot, in the empty living room. Cheng Yunfei's handsome face was pale. He thought about it over and over, and still decided to cling to the powerful Xiao Yuan first. After all, his and Xiao Yuan's affair was a huge sensation. Everyone knew about it, besides Dao Lin. It was unlikely any other wealthy beauty would want to marry him. Now that Dao Lin was dead, Xiao Yuan was still a member of the Xiao family. A lean camel is still bigger than a horse. Moreover, as long as he stuck to Xiao Yuan and endured humiliation for 5 years, Xiao Yuan could still get involved in the Xiao family's business in the future. That night, Cheng Yunfei first bribed Xiao Yuan's attending doctor. He told the doctor to instruct the nurse when giving medication to add a pill that could cause Xiao Yuan to have a miscarriage. The next morning, after Xiao Yuan took the medicine, she was in so much pain that her face turned pale, and she broke out in a cold sweat. She suddenly felt a warmth between her legs. Realizing something was wrong, she hurriedly pressed the emergency button by her bed. Doctor, save my child. The doctor rushed over. After a series of examinations, he took her to the operating room. At noon, Xiao Yuan woke up to find out that her child was gone. Her eyes were red. She suddenly broke down and cried loudly. It's gone. Xiu Chen doesn't want me anymore. My child doesn't want me either. Cheng Yunfei stood beside her, comforting her. Relax. We'll have another one in the future. Xiao Yuan grabbed a pillow and threw it at Cheng Yunfei, shouting coldly, Get out. I don't want to see you. 3 days later, Xiao Yuan was discharged from the hospital. Following Cheng Yunfei's recommendation, she had her child buried in a cemetery. Xiao Yuan looked at the grave, her eyes red. It's because mommy wasn't good enough. I couldn't keep you. Cheng Yunfei hugged Xiao Yuan and comforted her in a warm voice. Well, have another child. Xiao Yuan coldly pushed him away. Her voice was a bit cold. Don't touch me. Cheng Yunfei froze and gloomily retracted his hand that was hanging in the air. Not far away, Lin Fengxing sat in a car. He looked at the 2 people in the cemetery. He called me, Xiu Chen. I did as you asked. I've printed Xiao Yuan's test report. Someone will give it to Xiao Yuan to see later. I wonder if Xiao Yuan will regret it when she learns the truth. Suddenly, a staff member walked up to Cheng Yunfei and said in a low voice, Mr. Cheng, there's still some information over here that needs you to register. Cheng Yunfei nodded and went with him. As soon as he left, a female staff member walked up to Xiao Yuan. She was holding 3 photocopies. Not far away, Cheng Yunfei saw someone approaching Xiao Yuan with documents. He suddenly became alert and slowly walked back. At this moment, Xiao Yuan had already taken her physical examination report with a puzzled look. Name, Xiao Yuan. Diagnosis: female infertility. Her hand holding the test form suddenly tightened. Her face also turned pale. She tremblingly picked up the second copy. Pregnancy test report. Name: Xiao Yuan. Urine pregnancy test result: negative. The third copy was a printed screenshot of Cheng Yunfei transferring money to the doctor who did the test. Xiao Yuan's face was ashen after reading it. She stared coldly at Cheng Yunfei beside her. Her whole body exuded a terrifying cold aura, as if she wanted to skin Cheng Yunfei alive and eat him whole. I was never pregnant at all. You lied to me. Cheng Yunfei's face was pale. He denied it in a small voice. This is slander. Someone wants to frame me. You were pregnant at first. He paused for a moment. He grabbed Xiao Yuan's arm and begged, don't just believe these reports. Someone must be trying to frame me. Someone wants to frame me. Xiao Yuan gloomily threw his hand off and took out her phone to call Doctor. He was the doctor who did the examination for her and me before, on the other end of the line. After Doctor He heard what Xiao Yuan said. He hesitated for a few seconds. CEO Xiao. When the test results came out, he begged me to help you hide the fact that you were infertile. At that time, he said, that this matter concerned your honor and career. If it were revealed that you were infertile, it could affect you, taking over the Xiao family's business. So he told me to change the test result to say that his body had a problem. He paused for a moment. Doctor, he added another sentence. He really loves you very much. Dr. He's words entered Xiao Yuan's ears without missing a single word. Like tiny needles, they pierced her heart. It hurt so much, it was hard to breathe. Remembering Lin Fengxing's unusual words, Xiao Yuan suddenly broke down and laughed loudly. It turned out Xu Chen had loved her that much, to protect her self-esteem and future prospects, to avoid making her upset. He even took the blame for having a physical problem, for being infertile. She really deserved to die. She pushed away a man who loved her so deeply, just like that. Xiao Yuan held the test report and suddenly broke down, crying uncontrollably. Cheng Yunfei saw her dejected and crazed appearance and got up, wanting to take the opportunity to escape, but he didn't get far. Before Xiao Yuan grabbed him, she commanded the several bodyguards behind her to pin Cheng Yunfei to the ground. Xiao Yuan lifted her foot and stomped hard on Cheng Yunfei's body. Her voice was deep and hoarse, as terrifying as a demon from hell. Cheng Yunfei, was it fun to deceive me? If you hadn't seduced me, if you hadn't stopped me from going to Norway to find Xu Chen, how could he have died? Tell me, should I end you with my own hands? So you can go down and apologize to Xu Chen. With every word Xiao Yuan spoke, she stomped a foot on Cheng Yunfei's head. She stomped several times in a row. She felt it wasn't enough to vent her hatred. She picked up a worker's iron shovel and slammed it hard on Cheng Yunfei's head. Cheng Yunfei looked up. His forehead was smashed into a large gash. Blood flowed down his cheek. It was extremely horrifying, he said resentfully and unwillingly. If you weren't infertile, would I have lied? What was so great about Xu Chen anyway? If he wanted to go to Norway, then let him go. Why make such a big scene after leaving? Everyone knows he just wanted to harm me. He deserved to die. In my opinion, Dao Lin acted too late. Cheng Yunfei realized he had carelessly let it slip. He quickly stopped talking. Xiao Yuan's eyes were sinister. She stared at Cheng Yunfei and said word by word, you told Dao Lin to harm Xu Chen. Cheng Yunfei quickly shook his head, still trying to deny it. I didn't. Before he could finish the last word, Xiao Yuan raised the iron shovel and smashed it hard into his mouth. This one blow directly disfigured Cheng Yunfei. He spat out a mouthful of blood and teeth. Xiao Yuan narrowed her eyes, as if she had gone mad. She raised the iron shovel and repeatedly struck Cheng Yunfei's head, body, and face. A few minutes later, Cheng Yunfei couldn't hold on and fell to the ground. But Xiao Yuan's actions didn't stop. The surrounding visitors to the deceased looked at Xiao Yuan's demonic madness. No one dared to step forward until the police and ambulance arrived. Did Xiao Yuan stop hitting Cheng Yunfei? Cheng Yunfei was taken away by the ambulance, a bloody mess for a long time. 3 days later, I appeared at a XU family event under the name XU Sin Sheng. This time I changed to a new hairstyle, wore gold-rimmed glasses, and a black mask in front of people. I only revealed my distant eyes, making it impossible for people to see my expression. Back in the office, I had just sat down when I soon received a call from Lin Fengxing. His tone on the other end was light, as if there was some good news. Bad people get what they deserve. Xiao Yuan beat Cheng Yunfei and damaged his sciatic nerve. He's paralyzed now. He's in a wheelchair. His face is also ruined. My hand moving the mouse paused. My clear eyes lowered slightly. What about Xiao Yuan? Does she have to go to jail? Lin Fengxing shook his head and sighed regretfully. The Xiao family matriarch won't allow a Xiao family member to have a criminal record. She privately found a lawyer to negotiate with Cheng's parents and gave him 3 million to settle the matter. Lin Fengxing added. However, the day before yesterday, Xiao Yuan was forcibly sent abroad by the Xiao family matriarch. She's not allowed to return to the country for 5 years. I heard that after Xiao Yuan went abroad, she seemed to have suffered a huge shock. She doesn't eat or drink. Every day when she wakes up, she only does one thing, which is to draw your portrait. I lowered my eyes, my expression cold. It's finally about to end. On the other end of the line, Lin Fengxing was silent for a few seconds. He said nothing. He knew better than anyone how ruthless and determined I had to be these past few months to soberly break away from a 7-year-long relationship and calmly handle the people and matters related to this ill-fated relationship. The two talked for a long time before hanging up. Liu Xindao knocked on the door and entered. She was holding a super popular pineapple cake from Norway. It's very hard to buy. She placed it on my desk. Just bought it. You should try it. I looked at Liu Xindao and remembered when Xiao Yuan first started pursuing me. She was also attentive and catered to my preferences, buying me the pineapple cakes I loved so much. I looked up at the gentle, sunny woman before me, my thick eyebrows furrowed. Liu Xindao, I just ended a 7-year relationship. I am mentally and physically exhausted now. Right now, I don't need to date for 2 months. Before considering a relationship with you, if I were to flirt with you now, it would be unfair to you. The man's voice was low and extremely clear in the quiet office. Liu Xindao's pink lips curved slightly. She met my gaze. I have a lot of time. It's hard to meet a man she likes. She can wait. She is also willing to wait. I looked at her blankly. An unusual look appeared in my dark eyes. He grabbed Xiao Yuan's arm. I picked up the pineapple cake on the table and gently took a bite. 2 years later, in a church in Norway, a grand wedding was taking place. The warm sunlight fell upon the bride's white wedding dress and the groom's black suit, casting a golden glow on both of them. I was full of tenderness as I looked at the delicate and beautiful woman before me. Liu Xindao was holding a microphone, expressing her deep feelings. Xu Chen, my dear husband, you may not believe it, but 3 years ago, I was a staunch believer in not getting married. But that day, Xu's parents came to the company to find me. They wanted to invite me out for dinner. I saw Mother Xu's phone screen. The wallpaper was a photo of her with you. At that moment, my heart felt like it was being tickled by something. At that time, I only had one thought in my mind. It has to be him. If it's him. Getting married is quite good too. Did you know, my dear husband, the night you promised to date me? I was so excited, I couldn't sleep all night. I secretly posted a status update. I have a job, a lover, and something to look forward to. When you proposed to me, the moment you raised the ring, I was so grateful to God. Thank you for granting me such a wonderful fate, my dear husband. I swear to you, I will only love you in this life. Being loyal to our marriage is a self-imposed principle of our Liu family. 10 years later, Xiao Yuan came to Norway for work. She checked into a hotel and went downstairs for dinner, not far away. She saw a face she couldn't be more familiar with. Me and Liu Xindao with our 8-year-old son were sitting together having dinner. The little boy looked 70% like me and was extremely handsome when he smiled. But at this moment, the boy had his arms crossed and was puffing out his cheeks in anger. Why is it that when Daddy said he wanted to see the ocean this morning, Mommy immediately dropped her work and came here with him? In the day before yesterday, I said I wanted to see the ocean, but Mommy said go during summer vacation. Mommy, you're too biased. My thin lips curved slightly. I was just about to coax my jealous son when Liu Xindao stopped me with her hand. She stroked her son's head and smiled gracefully. Sweetheart, this is anti-favoritism. This is Mommy loving your daddy. Daddy and Mommy said they wanted to see the ocean. If Mommy doesn't go see it with Daddy right away, Mommy will feel upset. Her beloved husband. She must definitely spoil him. Xiao Yuan looked at me, who was basking in happiness. She slowly walked out. Just as she left the restaurant, Xiao Wan was drenched in tears. This time, she didn't come forward to bother me anymore. Xu Chen, knowing you're still alive, I am very happy. I am sorry, Xu Chen. In the next life, please give me another chance.